Hey there, it's BitB, and welcome out to another BitB stream. Thanks for coming out. It is Saturday, and I'm playing a little bit more Ace Attorney Investigations, Prosecutor Path. So, supposedly, Mariyokimon in the chat the other time that I played mentioned that the game probably has about 4 more hours to go. Oh, that's really going to depend on me now, isn't it? It depends on whether or not I'm quick-witted enough that I can tell. Just like, oh, right, this is how you solve the puzzle. I don't know. And also, I guess, I don't know how long any of the other chapters are going to be. But at this stage, we've had 2 extremely long chapters that took the entirety of a stream. So I don't know. I have no freaking idea. And the only way I'm going to figure that out is if I dive directly into it. But I'm curious to see how this finally ends, and, you know, we'll figure out the mysteries behind, you know, this adulterous Zhengfa nonsense. Just like, oh god, you have a son. Affairs. Actually, I do wonder if it was an affair. I really have no idea. Probably not. I don't know. Anyway, let us move over to the game tab and let us begin. Before we begin, though, I am going to go ahead and open up this soda thingy. Yeah, this stream was not brought today by, but I still have it just sitting here. This really weird, hipsterous-looking root beer that I found at the store. I'm like, that looks weird. I think I'm going to try that. It's like this glass bottle of root beer stuff, and it's got this weird pulled tab upper portion of it. So I don't know. I'm just going to try this on stream. I don't know why. It also says at the top, it says, invert bottle before opening. Why? I'm confused. This is root beer we're talking about. It's not like this is like orange juice or something. It's not going to have a bunch of pulp. Is it? I don't know. I'll invert it anyway. There we go. It has been inverted. Okay, now it's back up to it. Again, it's got like a freaking pull tab. I don't know what. Oh, that's strange. Okay. I guess I'm not getting that cap back on there. Smells like generically brewed root beer. Doesn't taste like generically brewed root beer. There's a weird tang to it. I don't know. No, it says it's an Australian family-owned root beer. Alright. At least it's not a bunch of piss. I don't know if I like that or not. I'm kind of glad that I only got, like, the very minimum amount. Okay, enough of me, like, you know, drinks with BitB. Let's begin this nonsense. Grand Turtle, again, we're only at middle part 2, and I've had 2 streams of this nonsense. Holy mother of hell. Oh, right, yeah. So we've just discovered that, indeed, President Zhengfa's son is this little kid here. Moo child. Let me just put the other headset in. Cool, ready to go. April 6th, 4:51 p.m., outside Grand Tower, temporary film lot. And I need to turn that down in my own ears, because that's going to be loud. Goddamn. There. John? So that guy was my dad. Yeah, and you kind of just walked directly past. He must have walked past a dead body, or something. I think? I don't know. Based on what it sounds like, he didn't have any idea. And just like, oh shit. Papa, no. He found out about his own birth so suddenly. And furthermore, his newfound father is no longer in this world. I'd always been searching for my dad. John, I get it, alright? He's the president. I know it's a complicated situation, but we even met face to face during the filming. So then why? Huh? Why didn't he tell me who he really was? I'm sorry, John. Mom, you don't need to apologize. No matter how you look at it, it's not my fault. Yesterday, I broke my promise with you and didn't even notice the fire on the roof. So I destroyed everything. I crushed it all. My dad, and those flowers that my mom carefully grew. John, please! For now, just don't think about anything. Just stay like this for a little while. Yes. Awkward hugs. Awkward murder hugs. Just for a little while. Okay? The bond between a parent and child. That's the meaning behind Lion Lilies. I know it's not my style, but that flower is from Zhengfa. However, we have no means of protecting that bond. Agent Lang, allow me to say this. The case won't be solved by sentimentality alone. Therefore, shouldn't we do all that we can to solve it? Yeah, you're right. Begrudgingly. The recreation of the past has finished. Were your father's deductions correct? My old man took his deductions to the grave. He never told anyone about them. So who knows if they were right or not. In that case, what about your own deductions? I would like to hear what you think happened based on the recreation. In order for us to get closer to the truth of 12 years ago. Yeah, I was thinking it's about time. I can see it now. My old man's back, real close. I'll catch up to him for sure. To the truth that my old man uncovered. It almost feels like this is less of trying to burn him and more just trying to work directly with him. It's interesting. I don't know. Somehow I like it. It's sort of like those situations where Phoenix and Miles Edgeworth would both be in, they'd be in the court and they would just be trying to fight back and forth. But they all have one goal. Truth. There's no mistake that the president went to the orphanage. The stuffed toy is proof of that. He was planning to meet with Amy Marsh. However, the president was kidnapped, and Cameron just happened to witness it. If Cameron hadn't been there, it probably would have just been a kidnapping with no murder. Afterwards, the body was moved from the flower beds and a fake photo was taken. So what the heck am I trying to find that's against that? I don't know, it sounds pretty close to what I was thinking before. Was that what really happened 12 years ago? 12 years ago, the president was kidnapped, and a witness was killed. Cool. However, there's one thing I still don't get. Something you don't get? It's this. Why did they need to take a fake photo? Why would they go through all that trouble and even make the president take part in the photo? That's true. However, the answer to that riddle must lie somewhere within. Once we get past the layers upon layers of deductions, we shall surely reach it. Yeah, that's right. I'd like to hear your deductions as well. We'll see if I feel like it's just going to be mindless dribble. And in case it is mindless dribble, again, time for a save. Done. And it's just middle part 2, and I believe there are 2 end parts, if I'm remembering correctly. Or it might just be 1 end part. I don't remember. I'm going to have to check that. No mistake, the president went to the orphanage. Agent Lang, I'd like to verify a few things that may have seemed obvious at first glance. Are we certain that the president actually went to the orphanage? Okay, I get it. You're saying you want proof? Everyone's always demanding proof from Mr. Edgeworth, after all. You didn't have to tell him that. The stuffed toy is proof of that. He was planning to meet with Amy Marsh. Something tells me that the stuffed toy might be what we're trying to do stuff with, but let's press. You mean this stuffed animal? The one with the recording device? That's right. Inside that toy was a recording from John's birth mother, Amy Marsh. Indeed, she said that she would meet with him at midnight. Wow, you two are perfectly in sync. The truth is becoming clear, like you're peeling off the layers of a scallion. What? Okay, a scallion doesn't have anything on the inside. Please don't make such foreboding analogies. I don't even know what a scallion is. The truth is becoming clear, like you're peeling off the skin of a wolf. God damn it. Just say onion and call it a day. Meme it all up. Can you stop making those foreboding analogies? Let's get back on track. However, the president was kidnapped and Cameron just happened to witness it.
I'd also like to verify the details of this point as much as possible. Mr. Cameron witnessed the president and his kidnapper near the orphanage.
And Mr. Cameron was standing by the snowman near the road. Then the murderer picked up a brick, snuck up on him from behind, and wham! Dink!
Kay, we are simply verifying what actually transpired. There's no need to be scared.
Oh, so intense! Half the details of this case just vanished from my brain. Mr. Edgeworth, Mr. Lang, let's carefully verify all the facts of this case. Yeesh, well, if you're gonna listen, I'll talk as much as you want. If Cameron hadn't been there, it probably would have just been a kidnapping with no murder. I can definitely agree with that, but...
If he hadn't been there, you say? That's an interesting theory. Care to explain it in more detail?
It's simple. Cameron was killed because he saw the kidnapping. The kidnapping itself was a success. If he hadn't been there, no blood would have been spilled.
No blood would have been spilled. Oh, brain blast.
You make it sound like it was his own fault for being there.
Kate, that's not it. What Agent Lang's trying to say is... Simply, beside Mr. Cameron, there were no other casualties at the crime scene.
That was all. Of course, that's obvious. The president was kidnapped, but... once the ransom money was paid, he was returned safe and sound.
That sounds like an obvious point. However, something about it bothers me. I may need to reevaluate the evidence once more.
You done explaining things to your assistant? I still have one last thing to confirm. Afterwards, the body was moved to the flower beds and a fake photo was taken. Okay, that's something I can agree with too. Like, alright.
That's also an important point. I'd like to take another good, clean look at the information.
Yeah, I'm with you there. Let's start with what Cameron saw before he was murdered. Cameron witnessed the president and the kidnapper in front of the orphanage.
However, the culprit wanted to conceal the connection between the incident and the orphanage.
That's right. That's why Cameron's original roll of film was disposed of, and a fake photo was taken of them standing outside the grounds in the orphanage.
Yes, and Cameron's body was then moved to match the photo.
It's finally becoming clear. The secret that was buried in the snow for 12 years. Is this the truth of the SS5 incident?
Dubious.
Mr. Edgeworth, what's the matter?
There's still something hidden behind this case.
What do you mean?
There's a piece of evidence that cannot be explained by Agent Lang's theory. As long as there's a contradiction, we'll have to present it in order to advance our reasoning.
Alright, and I think I know what that is. The president was kidnapped. Cameron just happened to witness it. If Cameron hadn't been there, it probably would have just been a kidnapping with no murder. Well... let's think back for a second, eh? Bludgeoned to death, time of death. Let's check the details of this real quick. Likely killed just after leaving with her cell phone. Is there anything... okay, I'm trying to find specifically the part that was talking about the... oh, here we go. The mysterious bloodstain. Left at the crime scene 12 years ago. Belonged to someone other than the victim, Cameron. Clearly, some poor bastard died. So we can't leave it at that.
If the eyewitness Cameron had not been there, no murder would have taken place. Is that really the case?
The criminal's goal was only to kidnap the president. If there were no witnesses, there would have been no need to commit murder, right?
And what if Cameron wasn't the only one who was murdered? There was a large bloodstain near the flower beds. However, Cameron was murdered near the snowman. Ergo, the bloodstain could not have belonged to Cameron. Someone else's blood was spilled, and quite a vast amount at that.
Hey, Mr. Prosecutor. Do you have any idea what you're saying?
I do. It's hard to believe, however, that is what the evidence indicates. On that night, 12 years ago, there were 2 murders.
Are you saying that the other murder was covered up? Just who the heck could have been killed?
A murder that was cleverly concealed. All trace of it were erased. And the incident itself was completely deleted from this case file. The case files. However, there's one piece of evidence that still remains intact after 12 years.
Let me think about that. What piece of evidence is still intact? I'm trying to think. Well, there's Cameron's testimony. I guess that would technically be considered intact in some capacity. Oh, well, there's the child's drawing, though. Ah, that's it. Very, very true. Let me think. I haven't really taken a really good look at this, actually. Yeah. So clearly some poor bastard. No, here's the thing. Everybody in this picture is alive. So, well, okay, hold on a second. This happened at... it looks like it happened 12 o'clock at a certain point in time, according to the clock in the background. Let me just move forward.
This piece of evidence shows that something happened that night.
I have to assume that the thing that we're talking about is the child's drawing, considering who's in it.
The other murder incident was buried in the dark by Blaze DeBest. However, there is still one piece of evidence that remains. Agent Lang, it survived by your father's hands.
My own man, you say?
Please recall, there was one more thing that was hidden along with the traces of the murder. And that is the existence of the boy who caused the fire. Why did Blaze make the boy disappear? It's because he saw something that he wasn't supposed to see.
What was the thing he wasn't supposed to see?
Catch up, Kay, please. I know you just got your memory back, but come on. Everything is drawn in this picture. The drawing my old man had.
Oh, boy. Something just popped into my head, and if this is the theory... A little bit of a swap. If this is the theory, then this is some hardcore drama.
The person drawn on the right is most likely the president. The Mozilla doll is also drawn near him. And the person standing opposite him is,
pretty clear who that would be. Mr. Dawkins!
A man with a knife and a large black dog. He is none other than Sirhan Dogan.
What? The assassin?
Why would an assassin appear before the president? The answer is clear. Indeed, what occurred that night on the orphanage ground 12 years ago was not a kidnapping. It was a presidential assassination!
Then Mr. Roland and Mr. Blaze were...
Yes, the two were likely partners in crime. One furnished the orphanage to use as the scene of the incident, and the other covered up the young boy's testimony. It's likely that Mr. Cameron was murdered because he witnessed the assassination itself. After all, the kidnapping never actually happened.
Stop messing around. You're saying that the president was assassinated 12 years ago? We just found his body today. He's been alive up until now. That's right. I mean, we met him ourselves.
If the president was assassinated 12 years ago, and the president's body was found today, that would imply there were two presidents.
Yeah, that can't be right.
Are you sure about that? There is the possibility that there were two presidents. That's right. Up until now, I've been getting a strange feeling from the president.
Even so, I still respect the man. Zhangfa is a small country, but he carried the nation with his strength.
The image of President Huang that Agent Lang described.
You're wrong.
He revealed his true form. Differs far too greatly from the President Huang we know. It's as if they were two entirely different people. If there were, in fact, two Zhangfa presidents, exactly how would such a scenario be possible? What would make the existence of the two presidents possible?
The president had a twin brother. One of them was a body double. The victim looked like the president. Okay. They look extremely similar. I don't know. Body double? Yeah, I could see that. The victim looked like the president. Oh my god. Oh, wow. There's a lot of possible things going on here. Because I could see possibly the victim looking like the president. I'm not entirely sure. I could see a twin being a thing. One of them was a body double. The victim looked like the president. I have gotten no hints of any idea about, like, one of them being a body double. One of them was a body double. I have to guess that this is probably some kind of a twin situation. Perhaps President Huang had a twin brother. If that's the case, it certainly wouldn't be strange if there were two presidents, sir. Unfortunately for you, the president was an only child. Shit! What? Is that so? As I thought. It's impossible for there to be two presidents, isn't it? No, there was a possibility. No, I swear to God. What would make the existence of two presidents possible? Okay. Twin brother, I don't know. I was going for the soap opera answer. The victim, okay. You know what? I would consider that there is a chance that the president could potentially have a body double. It's not out of the ordinary or not within any level of surprise. If that's the case, then maybe the president's got several body doubles. I don't know. If we were to assume that one of them was a body double, wouldn't it be possible then? A body double? President Huang possessed immense power and authority in Zhengfa. I'm sure there were those who envied his position and made attempts on his life. Yes, just as he was attacked a few days ago at Gourd Lake. It's true there were those who sought Huang's life from time to time, but I can't easily believe there were two presidents. At least not without any evidence. Do I have evidence that proves there were two presidents? Oh, shit. Well, the fact that one of them was super ridiculously fat. Oh, shit, I have no clue. Is there anything in the picture that would identify it? Like, anything particularly weird with the version of him here? As opposed to the one that's currently dead now? I'm a check. Oh my god, I have no clue. I am very much in the dark on this one. Let me think. Perhaps there's something very specific in a piece of evidence that's saying... Let's see. This is a letter to Miss Crane. But I'm pretty sure it was faked. Yeah, it was definitely fake. Well... Can be recorded and playback audio belong to the late presidents of Zhengfa. No. Practice video, the blue truck. 2 nights ago, president never passed through the 51st floor storeroom. Case from the... see, I don't think this would have anything to do with it, considering he could have potentially snuck through the, you know, the... Well, wait. Never passed through the 51st floor storeroom. Does that mean that he might actually still be up there? I'm very confused as to why that would be it. But that does kind of break certain rules, because... Yeah, if he didn't go through the 51st floor room, do we have evidence that he left the roof? And if we don't, then where the hell is he now? I'm gonna try this, but I feel like it's wrong. If you look at this evidence, you'll see that there were 2 presidents. Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, unfortunately, I have no idea what you're talking about. Langzy says, evidence doesn't speak. Evidence with no meaning won't tell us anything. God, looks like this wasn't it. If only we knew that the president was in 2 different places at the same time. Well, yes, I was trying to explain that. Then we could prove that there were 2 people.
Let's look at the evidence and reorganize the incident again.
How could there have been 2 Mr. Huangs? As I suspected, that's impossible. If you want to say there were 2 people, show me proof. Alright. There's got to be proof that there were 2 Huangs at 2 different times. "12 years ago, the president was kidnapped. Witness was killed." Is there anything... Okay. The evidence specifically said that we should probably look back on a couple of different pieces of evidence. President of Zhengfa, Di Yonghuang, was kidnapped on February 10th to the 12th. Not 10th to the 12th. 12 years ago. Kidnapper demanded a ransom of $100 million. Dai Long Lang confirmed that on the evening of the incident, the president was at the Zhengfa embassy until midnight. Wait a fuck nugget. What? 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 I'm very confused. I think this might be it.
Has Agent Lang not noticed this contradiction? Or has he noticed it but can't admit it?
What is it, Mr. Prosecutor? Don't shout something out only to suddenly clam up.
According to the recording on the doll, the president visited the orphanage at midnight. However, that should not have been possible.
Huh? Why's that?
Why? Because at the time, the president should have been at the embassy. He was together with Agent Lang's father.
Again, shoulder pull. Collar pull, rather.
So, Agent Lang, you really did notice. He was in 2 places at the same time. Ergo, there must have been 2 presidents.
Then which of the 2 was the real president on that day, 12 years ago? I feel like the real one was 12 years ago, definitely. And this new one's just the fake that had to continue to fake it for years.
Most likely the one who died.
Who contracted Doken to murder Huang?
In order to learn that, first, we must have a look at the evidence that we proved was false earlier. And the piece of evidence we know to be false is...
that picture. Right? Where's the picture? Where's the picture? There's the picture.
The photo taken with Cameron's camera was taken after he was murdered. And he was murdered because he witnessed the presidential assassination. In other words, the photo must have been taken following the assassination. Given that, who is the president pictured in the fake photo? We must consider him to be the body double.
In other words, the body double had the real president murdered and then took his place.
Patricia Rowland and Blaze must have cooperated in that plan.
Hold it! Huang's body was never found. Just where could it have disappeared to?
But the answer to that is already quite apparent. This is where the real president's body was.
Oh my god. The real president's body must be located in... Hold on. Is there some specific... Here, hold up. I'm trying to take a look around to seeing if there are any flower beds. But... concrete is broken. The ground beneath them is exposed. Did Blaze dig up ransom money? No, he fucking didn't.
Last night there was something Blaze had to unearth with his own 2 hands. That item was not the ransom. It was something far more important.
So Blaze unburied
the real president's body. The possibility is quite high.
Oh, and the remains must be fragmented as hell. What'd you say?
The bones from the body buried 12 years ago would have still remained. According to Mr. Powers, construction was to begin soon at this lot. That was the deadline. Both for the movie and the retrieval of the body.
Because they would have found the body when they started the construction.
Agent Lang, let us search the footprints that Blaze dug up. Yeah. Oh dear God, this is awkward as shit. My president is buried in the middle of this city. Holy shit.
I guess there's really nothing avoiding an international incident at this stage.
If the body was buried there, there'd be traces of it.
Oh, wait, click on that window. There we go.
Hey, somebody call forensics!
I have the results of the search. We found traces in the dirt that suggest a body was buried here.
So it was Huang after all.
We also recovered the skeletal remains that Blaze DeBest dug up. They were in his home. In addition to the bone structure, the dental records and the bone fractures all match up. Dude, like, you could say one thing about the forensics team for Ace Attorney. They have very quick turnaround. We can confirm that it was indeed President Huang. There. I'm just going to make sure that the audio is still working. Hello, hello. Test 1, 2. Okay. It's working fine.
So the real President Huang was indeed killed 12 years ago.
Damn it. I'm so sick of this emulator. I really wish I was just playing off of the physical device, because I have to be, like, kind of clicked onto the window to make it work.
The SS5 incident was a murder.
I see. I can understand why they decided to hide that from people for so many years. So how do you explain that shit? So the SS5 incident was actually a murder incident!
Where have you been, and what did I just say?
There's so much information, it's way too confusing.
Indeed. Let us take this opportunity to review the details of this case.
First, the real president came to the orphanage, right?
12 years ago, the true President Huang visited the orphanage in order to meet his son. The footsteps in the snow that we thought belonged to Mr. Cameron were most likely made by the president at the time. President Huang was supposed to meet his son here. However, the one who actually showed up was the assassin Sherhan Dogan.
He came here to meet his son, but was murdered instead. How horrible.
A man like Dogan shows no mercy. And after that, the second tragedy occurred.
You mean Mr. Cameron's murder?
Indeed, Mr. Cameron saw the decisive moment. After the real president was killed by Dogan, his body was carried to the rear courtyard by the team of kidnappers. Mr. Cameron must have witnessed that moment from the orphanage entrance. Although he himself believed that he had actually witnessed the kidnapping. Furthermore, by this time, the body double, who had come to meet up with Blaze and Miss Rowland, was already standing behind Mr. Cameron.
Wow, a different kind of presidential assassination, where the president assassinates someone.
And then the witness to the incident, Mr. Cameron,
was killed by the body double. So was Mr. Cameron's corpse also carried by the body double?
Yes, that seems likely.
But there wasn't anything at the crime scene that looked like the body double's footprints.
I've already figured out how he accomplished that. There's a piece of evidence that would have made it possible.
What did the body double use to move the body without leaving any footprints? How does one keep snow from getting compacted? Error is an interesting question. Sleeping drugs. I don't... The victim's shoes? Oh, well, okay, hold on a second. Could the fire have had something to do with it for the sake of, like, melting extra footprints? I'm curious about that, maybe. Maybe. Didn't belong to Cameron. Culprit likely placed the shoes on the victim's feet after he died. I'm leaning towards the shoes, but I also think that maybe the fire had something to do with hiding footprints.
The double likely used this to move Mr. Cameron's body.
Whoa, he used that to move the body? How would that actually work?
He, used trick after trick and put in a lot of effort.
Hey, Mr. Prosecutor, let's be honest and recognize our mistakes, okay?
It appears this wasn't it.
Okay. Should have been left to the scene, but they aren't. Okay, alright. So the actual thing is that I believe he was wearing a different set of shoes.
This is almost certainly how the body double carried Mr. Cameron's corpse. After Mr. Cameron was killed, the president's body double carried him into the middle of the garden. I suspect the body double was wearing the same shoes as the real president at the time. If he made sure to step precisely on top of the footprints left by the real president...
Ah, since the shoes were the same. There would only be one set of footprints left behind in the snow. I think I've got a pretty good grasp on the SS5 incident now. But there's still one thing I don't get.
What's that?
Why did they need to stage the abduction?
Because Mr. Cameron witnessed the incident. He saw the president at the orphanage. He left behind witness testimony on Miss Crane's answering machine. Even Blaze couldn't make that disappear. Ergo, the body double needed a reason for the president to have been at the orphanage.
And that's why they prepared the fake kidnapping charade.
The people in the fake photo are the body double, and most likely Patricia Rowland.
The person in the coat is Miss Rowland? What makes you say that?
The two would have to leave the orphanage in order to take the picture. Just like when he moved the body, the double used the real president's footprints.
Ah, so the second set of footprints must belong to the the person in the coat.
Indeed, we originally believed that those footprints belonged to Cameron's killer. They were size 7 footprints, too small for Blaze's feet. Thus, we can presume that the person playing the part of the kidnapper was Patricia Rowland. Hidden in the shadow of the presidential kidnapping was a presidential assassination.
I see, so that's why my old man...
Why he... what?
The old man must have realized that a murder had taken place. After all, he had the kids drawn. However, that picture was never presented as evidence.
Your father likely took it from the young witness during the investigation and hid it.
He had to have known that Huang was dead. But what if he had revealed that back then?
Revealed the death of the president, the backbone of Zhengfa? It would have caused chaos.
And that's why my old man took the secret to his grave. He even took the blame for the kidnapping, knowing that would be the fall of the House of Lang, rather.
So this is the truth that Agent Lang's father hid 12 years ago.
And now, it's all become clear. I mean, a good reason to cover murder, I guess.
But the truth comes out in the end.
Is that really the case, I wonder? Oh, no.
Huh? What?
Who's there? Oh, hell no.
That bell, it's... a murder. Sir Handogan!
Hey, puppy.
You! Why are you here? How could you just brazenly show up here? What do you think you are, pal?
No, who you think you are?
I found the conversation most intriguing, and I just, well... Are you feeling nostalgic about an old murder of yours?
You're the one who killed Huang!
Nostalgia? I think not. You were speaking about the person I'm searching for. You're searching for someone? I escaped from prison in order to meet with a young acolyte. The one who wore the red raincoat.
The red raincoat? Who is this person? I suspect that it's the same person as the mastermind you're searching for. Someone you've been searching for. The one in the red hood.
The Red Hood?
Don't they seem surprised, Anubis? Yes, they are, my boy. 12 years ago, this young acolyte saved my life.
Something tells me that this is actually going to be true, just the way he's framing this shit.
Certainly it was I who killed President Wang. However, my life was also targeted on that day. The body double Blaze and Patricia all sought to seal my lips. Had I not been reunited with the young acolyte back then, I would have been in danger. But alas, even to this day, I do not know what has become of the young acolyte.
So your client was indeed the body double, who was the main perpetrator of the crime.
It was a long time, but I remember his words even now. There have been countless attempts on my life, not just once or twice. Countless. And yet why must I be the one to face the danger? When I stand before the people, I garner the same respect as the president does. Tell me, just what is the difference between him and me? The difference was great. While the voice and style of speech may be the same. One can mimic the body, but the heart cannot be reproduced.
I suppose his own weaknesses cost him in his quest to become a leader.
Now the rookie's gone, I'm in charge.
I'm not sure if you're as capable as Rook was.
Oh, did he say Rook instead of Rookie? My bad. What are you saying? I'm totally the leader now.
Perhaps the king and his knight were not so different after all.
The devil believed that the president's only weakness was a woman called Amy. To find the woman, he needed the assistance of someone from this country.
So he joined forces with Blaze.
After determining her whereabouts, he simply waited for the right opportunity.
That chance came with the meeting at the orphanage.
Indeed, the director of the orphanage was bribed and brought in as an accomplice.
He must be referring to Patricia Rowland.
Well, given what I told you, do you realize the whereabouts of the young acolyte now?
You mean the boy who saved you? But how do you know that he is the mastermind?
That day, the young one caused a fire at the garden of the orphanage.
Oh, you're talking about the kid who started the fire as a prank.
A prank? Not at all. On that night 12 years ago, the young acolyte was hiding inside the igloo. It seems he witnessed Patricia and Blaze moving the body from his hiding place. Apparently, he heard them talking during that time. It would seem that they were planning to kill me because I knew the truth. He immediately came to the main hall to tell me that. I learned this about the young acolyte some time later. It seems he was wearing a red raincoat at the time. He led me out of the main hall. And then the young acolyte said he was going to get rid of our footprints.
Ooh, this guy's a straight-up ninja.
So he scattered some lamp oil near the igloo over the snow. Then he boldly set the oil ablaze.
Oh, no way! So he set fire in order to...
All their focus was diverted towards the burning flames. I took the opportunity to escape through the rear exit.
I could see why. That's interesting, because I'm sure that Patricia probably wanted him dead at that stage. Definitely. But thanks to probably people on the outside and the fact, I don't know. I feel like this is a very tangled web, and unfortunately she was probably in a position where she couldn't kill him, but God almighty she wanted to. So the boy in the red raincoat is the mastermind behind this case?
Exactly. Isn't that right, Anubis? Yes, boy, yes it is. And now it's time to poke and prod him. But first, I need to save, because I'm a little bit lost. Holy fuck. Like I said, this is very tangled, and I'm trying to figure it out myself. Middle part 2. Certainly it was I who killed President Huang.
You admitted that rather easily.
These days I have long grown tired of killing. But in those Halcyon days, I devoted myself to the path of an executioner. Halcyon, rather. If one cannot admit that much, what he can admit. What can he admit? Right, Manubis? Yes, yes, my boy.
I feel like he's saying something scary, but it's kind of hard to understand him.
This fallen priest is saying he has no feelings about the president's death. Dogen, the assassin, and escaped prisoner. He should be a despicable opponent, but silencing him now would be imprudent. I must keep my composure and let him talk. I understand your point. You killed the president.
That is correct. The aim of my blade never missed its mark. However, my life was also targeted on that day.
Your life was targeted? You, the assassin?
Who'd have thunk it? The hunter becomes the hunted. The Buddhist becomes the No.
Okay, you don't have to make up strange proverbs.
Life is transient, especially for an assassin, whose life is always exposed to danger.
So does that mean people you've tried to kill have fought back?
But that is a rare occurrence. However, this was different. The body double Blaze and Patricia all sought to seal my lips.
Sir Dogen, you are a master assassin. As such, could you not have evaded an attack from those three and fled the scene?
You greatly overestimate me. Without Anubis by my side, I would not even be able to walk about. If those three were to attack me all at once, I could not stand a chance.
I see. So even an assassin who will fall, rather, to superior numbers in a frontal assault.
No, he's not a machine, you asshole.
I suppose one could say that. I, Sir Dogen, would have suffered a shameful defeat. Had I not been reunited with the young acolyte back then, I would have been in danger.
Reunited? So when did you first meet with him?
And that would be 18 years ago, on the 24th of December.
That is a rather long time ago.
On that day, our roles were reversed. I saved the young one's life.
Ooh, story time.
There was an unusual snowstorm on that day. The temperature was well below freezing. I took Anubis for a walk in the snow. That's when Anubis noticed something and started running. I followed after him and followed a car. I had great difficulty opening the door. It had frozen shut.
Oh, that's scumbaggy.
In the back seat, there were 2 young children, shivering from the cold.
2 children?
Had they remained in the car for an hour longer, they surely would have frozen to death. I brought the 2 of them to a nearby orphanage.
Is there anything about Dogen's story that concerns me?
Yeah! I'd say a lot of things concern me. The fact that 2 young children were locked in a freaking car.
What concerns me is
the date, the number of children, the model of the car. Really? You're gonna be picky about that? Just be like, what model car is it?
Does it goddamn matter?
The date is interesting because wasn't that a date that directly shadows another incident? Okay, so this was from 12 years ago. This is specifically something about 18 years ago. So, what happened 18 years? There's got to be something that happened about 18 years ago. Yeah, case files from the incident 18 years ago. From the IS-7. Let me see here. Dover's body was discovered inside Mr. Master's mansion. And then all this nonsense. No clues to the whereabouts of Dover's son or Gustavia's son. Holy mother of fuck! Yep, I'd say that's concerning. The date? Yes.
The 24th of December, 18 years ago. Are you sure about that?
There is no mistake.
Could that mean?
I know the significance behind that date.
What shows the significance of the date when Dogen found the children? Oh, I figured that one out. I pieced it together.
That day, a certain incident occurred. A sculptor was murdered.
Ah!
During that incident, 2 young boys went missing. The sons of the victim, Isaac Dover, and the culprit, Dane Gustavia. Dane Gustavia.
We never did find out where those 2 boys went after the case 18 years ago. Did they not say anything about this? Just being like, like, that's my daddy, there's my pop.
Oh, they were the sons of a victim and a culprit? It all makes sense now.
What makes sense?
One of the youths was bound so that he could not move.
Mr. Dover did it so that Mr. Gustavia's son couldn't come to the contest venue.
Indeed, Gustavia was using his own son as a taste tester.
To think that was what happened, transpired. Neither child seemed to recall what had happened.
They lost their memories?
The acolyte told me this when we were united 12 years ago. The pair were placed in an extreme situation, on the verge of freezing to death. That trauma led them both to suffer from amnesia. Neither could so much as remember his own name.
So they didn't even know what they were that they were the sons of Mr. Dover and Mr. Gustavia. Okay, that's a convenient excuse.
Indeed, while we cannot say it conclusively, the probability is quite high. However, we still don't have enough information to deduce the mastermind's identity. Dogen, would you please continue your story?
Very well.
Yay, more story. Let's try and piece together who this might be.
I continue my correspondence with the young acolyte even after entering prison. Recently, that had all come to an abrupt halt, however. It left me quite concerned. Furthermore, those involved in the crime 12 years ago were all drawn into incidents one by one. I grew more and more curious, and so I absconded briefly from the prison.
Those involved 12 years ago were Patricia Rowland, Blaze the Best, and President Huang's body double.
And Miss Rowland was the warden of Mr. Dogen's prison.
I blackmailed the warden. That woman had tried to kill me. Perhaps the good prosecutor had already deduced the reason.
You murdered President Huang. However, the world still believed he was alive. If you were able to prove the president was a fake, both Patricia Rowland and Blaze the Best would have been in danger.
That is correct, and I had heard the proof with my own ears.
I'll be waiting in the courtyard of the orphanage at midnight on February 9th. Even if it's just once, I want John to be able to meet you. I'm sorry if I'm being selfish, but I'll be waiting. Oh, boy.
Who might you be? My apologies, but I am presently waiting for someone. I am well aware of that, President Huang. Are you not meeting with your son? However, I do not spill blood needlessly. You may relax. I seek only the President's life. It can't be. Please, wait. I'm just about to meet my son for the first time, and I'm sure this will be the first and the last time. Please, at least wait until we are finished. I thought the President would beg for his life, but he was of a different sort. Officially, the President had no son. However, he shook his head and said, this illegitimate son was his, and he intended to recognize him publicly. Furthermore, he claimed that he had already made preparations towards that end. Wouldn't that son of his be the boy with horns over there by any chance?
Boy with the horns? Wait, you can see John's horns?
There's no need to see them. For the moment I escaped from prison up until now, I've been closely lending an ear to your voices.
Hey! You said that the president made preparations towards recognizing his son. But the word preparations alone would be insufficient for blackmail. That's it!
There was one thing that could prove Hong's words, the will held by the House of Lang. It was also proof of his trust in us. His son's existence would have been revealed to the world. The name of the recording, the mention of preparations, and the will in Zhangfa. Together, they suffice to make the warden bow to my words.
With those 3 pieces of information, one could prove the identity of the double. By using John!
You poor bastard.
The president blocked the first strike on my knife with something soft. As pieces of it fell atop the snow, I struck once more. This time, the blow proved fatal.
So Dogen cut off the Mozilla doll's horn.
None but I heard his final words. Only myself and that child knew of the president's secret son.
Back to here.
I continue my correspondence.
Boy, this is a hell of a cereal. So I guess, technically speaking, we now know that John could very well take over Zhangfa. Oh dear. I don't know. It depends on how they decide to run presidency and all that jazz. Again, if presidency in their country means king, and it is a lineage thing, I feel like 13's too young. Corresponds with the young acolyte.
In other words, you contacted him from the prison?
That is correct. A post office box was used.
A post office box?
It would allow one to send and receive letters without revealing the recipient's location.
I cannot use a form of correspondence that would reveal the acolyte's location. There was someone keeping watch over my correspondences, after all.
Yep. He must mean the prison warden, Patricia Rowland. Could you be more specific about the nature of your correspondences?
Well, they were mainly moves for my correspondence chess matches.
Correspondence chess? If I recall, the person you were playing against...
This might be hard to believe, but Dogen's chess opponent was...
Are you saying he was playing against Mr. Knightley? Wasn't it Horace Knightley?
We certainly found the correspondence chess memo in Knightley's cell.
Oh dear. Does that mean Knightley boy was the kid from the IS-7 incident?
Could that really be true? Is there any evidence connecting Knightley to the IS-7 incident?
Well, let's think about all the evidence we currently have on Knightley. I'm all but certain there is a connection between Knightley and Dogen. Dogen's chess partner, whose identity remained unknown until now, was actually Knightley all along. That's proof enough. Tomorrow I shall interrogate him in the warden's office. I'll get him to confess that he's one of Dogen's henchmen. That thing he laid to rest in front of the flower bed 12 years ago. You simply must retrieve it. Maybe it has something to do with the report on Knightley.
Mr. Shields, I'd like you to take a look at this piece of evidence.
What about it? Are you saying it's evidence that connects Knightley boy to the IS-7 incident? Uncle Ray doesn't think it has anything to do with the incident at all, though. Ah, crap.
Perhaps I should think it over one more time.
Here. Why don't you look over Knightley boy's belongings one more time? Something related to the IS-7 incident just might pop out.
Knightley's belongings, huh? Let's look over them one more time.
Ah, balls. Hold on. I have to redo all this stuff again. My bad. And I also need to be perfect. So again, correspondence chess. We need to think about this. Is there any evidence connecting Knightley to the IS-7 incident? Alright, let's think about this again. The stuff that Knightley specifically had on him. Or stuff that directly links him back to it. Maybe the IS-7 incident documents might have something? Manfred von Karma... well, he specifically said that it has something to do with his... like, the things that he actually has on him. No, I don't think this would do anything. Alright, the actual things on him. What about Knightley's mementos? That's right. A ring and chessboard found inside the safe at the 51st floor storeroom. Those mementos that he has, do they have any kind of connection with the IS-7? What about that ring? That freaking ring that he had? Did that have anything to do with it? I forget what the shape was on that ring, but if he had that ring, and if that is the shape... Oh. Maybe.
This was all that Knightley left behind. Could there be a clue hidden within?
Which should I investigate? The ring or the chessboard? Saving. All right. I don't know. The chessboard, I don't think so. I think it might be the ring. But I'm going to try.
Yes! This ring is...
Mr. Edgeworth, what is it?
Mr. Shields, please take a look at this ring.
This pattern is... It's Pierre Hoquet's!
I thought so. He had Mr. Dover's seal turned into a ring. However, why would he have this? Shouldn't it have been held by the police as evidence from the IS-7 incident?
After the incident, the seal was returned to the victim's next of kin. And Mr. Dover's only family was his son. But since no one knew where the son had gone to, it took a while to get it to him. I heard that the police had finally found him and delivered his inheritance, but...
So the seal was thereby safely delivered to his son. And then he turned the seal into a ring and wore it on his person.
Shit. Mr. Knightley Hoquet. So Mr. Knightley was Mr. Dover's son. The police aren't fools. I'm sure they did a thorough check before handing over the seal. If someone involved in the IS-7 incident was his chess opponent... Knightley, huh? Then that man must be the mastermind behind this case.
But Knightley is dead! He cannot be involved in this incident.
How about that? The only one who could be the mastermind was himself a murder victim. But a dead guy can't be the culprit, so there's no way that's right.
It certainly is strange. In that case, who is the culprit?
Well, we have pulled all that stuff out. Recently, that has all come to an abrupt halt. However, it left me quite concerned.
It came to a halt? Now of all times?
Quite odd, is it not? Anubis told me again and again how odd it was.
The scary dog talked? Was he like, something's odd, woof?
I can understand Anubis' heart, even if he does not voice his thoughts.
Then there's something I'd like to ask, just in case. Your scary dog staring at me right now. He's not saying, I'm hungry, I want some meat, right?
Perhaps.
Perhaps! Mr. Edgeworth!
It seems she's not much good with that assassin's dog.
Good boy, good boy. There's a good boy. So then, at any rate, my correspondence with the Acolyte suddenly came to an abrupt halt. Furthermore, those involved in the crime 12 years ago were all drawn into incidents one by one.
That certainly does seem too much for a mere coincidence. The body double of Di Yong Huang, the president of Zheng Fa, faked an assassination plot. Patricia Rowland, the prison warden, murdered Horace Knightley. And Blaise de Best, the chairman of the PIC, murdered Jill Crane. Come to think of it, as I have been investigating these cases, I have felt the presence of some force behind the scenes.
Even within the prison, I could tell that this was no insignificant event. I grew more and more curious, and so I absconded briefly from the prison.
By absconded, you mean just straight up escaped?
You absconded briefly from the prison? I cannot forgive such a criminal act.
You stole your way out of prison? I cannot forgive such a thieving act. God damn it.
Relax. No one was hurt. I merely have connections that allow me to set foot outside.
But even so, you can't just escape from prison, pal. Arrest him! Arrest him!
That won't be necessary. Once my business is done, I shall return to my cell.
Yeah, with an extra life sentence. You trying to make fools of us? A prison isn't the kind of place you can just enter and leave at will.
The wolf may say that. But one can see that the wolf and his pack also share an interest in the tales of my past.
Agent Lang, Detective Gumshoe. There are still a few things I must ask Dogan. Please postpone matters until then. Yes, sir. I knew you'd say that, Mr. Edgeworth.
Damn it all. I'm not taking my eye off you for a second.
Writing letters in Braille can be a rather enjoyable pastime.
How about what?
Excuse me, but you wrote your letters in Braille?
Indeed, for I possess the tools necessary to write in Braille.
Wow! So you need to use tools to write in Braille. I never knew.
Then would you please tell us what you wrote?
Everything. Letters, of course, and also the movements of the chess pieces.
You wrote the movements of the chess pieces by hand? That statement is intriguing.
So then, how does your handmade dog piece move?
Okay, that question can wait. So then, what did you do when the letters stopped coming?
Within the prison, I grew increasingly concerned about the acolyte's whereabouts.
Oh, okay. But even so, I don't really get it. Who exactly is this acolyte?
Indeed, Dogan himself has not yet made that clear. What's important is the thread connecting Dogan and this acolyte, their correspondence. And not just the letters, we should pay attention to the means that was used as well.
Interesting. So, this is an interesting thing that he just said. Braille? Okay. Let's try and work this out. Braille, eh? I need to look at the chess memo real quick. Next, I move rook. No, pawn to g6. That's very weird that you would make that mistake in writing. You know, you wouldn't just, like, cross and scribble stuff out. Okay. Is there anything that could be mistaken for Braille? Or something that would have the shape of Braille on it? Because that, I think, is what I need to figure out more than anything. Something I get this really strange suspicion that somehow the dialogue was sent via their correspondence chess. Like, I think that is what they were doing. It's like they were talking back and forth with each other with secret memos and stuff like that, but they did it in the form of a chess game. Hey!
I'm certain you said you wrote your letters in Braille.
So, is he... I forget. He's blind, right? Is he blind? I'm pretty sure he's blind. How do you write that out on a piece of paper in Braille? I don't... Okay. Or maybe he didn't do that, and maybe... whatever.
Correct. The good prosecutor must know that I am lacking in sight, do you not?
Yes. I'm very confused how you can manage to write Braille on paper.
The correspondence chess letter we found had been typed out using a word processor.
What? That cannot be.
What do you mean?
So someone went out of their way to retype the letters on a computer?
Could another person have acted as a middleman between Dogan and Knightley?
What do you mean?
Dogan wrote his letters in Braille. However, by the time it reached Knightley, it had been rewritten on a word processor. We must assume that some middleman rewrote those letters.
And the reverse can also be said. That somebody might have taken the letters Knightley wrote and re-delivered them to Dogen.
Yes, that is indeed true.
Oh, I see. Weird. So that's why we have a written version. I love how I was trying to point that out, being like, that doesn't make much sense. Oh, the game meant it to not make sense. Cool.
Knightley and Dogen both communicated through a certain individual. Dogen, were the letters that reached you...
They were in Braille, of course.
So, Knightley Boy's letters must have been transposed by that same person as well.
Oh? Then that somebody must be...
the mastermind behind the case.
You're saying there's someone else who's the mastermind behind this case?
Yes.
Then who the hell is it?
Dova's son, Knightley, is already deceased. In that case, there is one more youth that we should consider to be the mastermind.
You mean Dave Gustavia's son? But
Who the heck is he?
If Knightley is Dova's son, then Gustavia's son must be.
Well, we're the only friends either of us had since childhood. He was the same as me. We never had real families.
It can't be. Could it really be him?
I'm still a little bit out of the loop on this. I'm sure it'll come to me. Mr. Edgeworth, what is it? You've gone all pale. Again, not 100% in my own brain, but I'm sure it's somebody that we have already met. Also, why would you commit this horrible crime?
I figured it out. The identity of the mastermind who's been controlling this case from the shadows.
What? Who in the world is it?
I don't want to believe it myself, but it is someone we know quite well. The mastermind is...
Let's think about this one real quick. Penny! No. Who would be within that age range? Let's start out right there. Age 24. No idea who the fuck Shelly the Killer is. Pretty sure Sebastian didn't do anything. No, Raymond Shields would not have done it. He was entirely directly involved in the entire thing. It's someone we know quite well. All right, I don't think Gumshoe is being kicked to the curb today. Neither is Kay. The president is dead. Lang would not have done it, right? I mean, he lived in Zangfa, like, you know, he was born and raised in Zangfa and all that jazz, right? So why? Don't think it would be him. I think they said kind of specifically that this is a guy we're talking about. And correspondence-wise means Sirhan Dogen is not the mastermind. There's a part of me that kind of wonders if maybe Shelly the Killer. We don't really know his age. We don't really know where he comes from. And in general, I think this would line up. It's friggin' weird and kind of obvious, but I'm gonna go with it. What? That person's the mastermind? But according to what we've been saying, something seems kind of wrong.
Naturally, this person has no relation to the mastermind after all.
Are they related or not? Please take this more seriously.
Whoops.
Alright. So you're still a question mark. Who would it be then? Mr. Knightley was his only childhood friend.
It must be that person.
Oh my god!
The mastermind is...
What? I completely forgot about this shit.
The mastermind behind this case sent a letter to Jill Crane which deceived Blaze. Furthermore, he kidnapped John and eavesdropped on us. However, of all his actions, the one I have not been able to get out of my mind.
And he has a red hood. He has a hood, right?
is how he brought an unconscious Kay to the roof. The giant monster.
Did you just say something?
That's right. The key to exposing the mastermind is in the monster's true form.
Yeah, I almost forgot. If you'd like, please come to our next show. I'll also be performing in it. The Berry Big Circus is always fabulous and fun for all ages.
Miss Swift, there is something I would like to ask of you.
What? You mean me?
You said that you recorded the sound of Mozilla spewing flames. Would this decisive evidence of yours be something you recorded on that tape recorder?
Ask Mr. Edgeworth for you. You're good at figuring things out, aren't you? It's the sound of Mozilla spewing out fire. This place nearly became a sea of flames. That's right. I ain't actually seen it with my own eyes, though.
Could you let us listen to that tape?
Sure thing. Yeah, there we go.
This sound. It's as I thought. So it seems that my reasoning was correct. The true nature of the monster and that mastermind. All of my logic is coming together. Miss Hart, you said that you captured a giant eye on film, did you not?
Sure did. Right here in this photo.
Though we cannot confirm it like this. Detective Gumshoe! Yes, sir? Lend us your film analysis device.
Oh, okay, but what do you want to analyze, sir?
This photo, please.
I'm on it!
Is there a new clue in this photo?
Oh boy. There's a eyeball in the corner. All right. It almost looks like an eyeball, but what the ever-loving hell is going on here?
This is...
See? Ain't the Mozilla's eye right there? Or stand up with me!
I see. I have finally grasped the true form of the giant monster that was being controlled by the mastermind. Giant monster!
Are you admitting it? You are, ain't you? You're admitting that the mind of Mozilla is real!
Nope. No, this is not Mozilla. This is the eye of a different monster. Please have a look at this.
Ah, inflatable monsters, I see. It's a flyer for the Berry Big Circus. This is...
Precisely. There's a rather large balloon with the head of a lion pictured here. This balloon is the true identity of the giant monster! In addition, the sounds Miss Swift recorded, which she believes to be Mozilla spewing flames...
That's a hot air balloon. Mr. Prosecutor, don't tell me you're gonna say something that'll shatter my dreams of a scoop.
Hot air balloons fly by using burners to heat the air, right, sir? Precisely. Detective, the mastermind used this monster of his to bring Kay to the rooftop of the Grand Tower without using the elevator.
Wouldn't that mean that the mastermind is someone connected to the circus? He's a member of the circus, Knightley's friend, and Dane Gustavia's son. Who'd have thunk it? I didn't.
An apprentice beast tamer? He's no amateur.
That's weird.
For the beast he has tamed is none other than this entire case. Simon Keyes, he is the mastermind behind this whole incident.
Mr. Keyes was really behind it all? No way. I don't believe it. I mean, we trusted him. How could it have been a lie? That's just heartbreaking.
Kay. What is it?
Hey, you, stop. Where do you think you're going?
The boy with horns is rather perceptive. The good prosecutor has done a remarkable job. Now that I have heard that, I have no further business here.
Wait, Dogan!
Ah, you damn dog. No, no. Back, puppy. Damn it, where'd he vanish to? Mr. Edgeworth, are you okay?
Yes, I'm fine. However,
That guy.
John,
That Dogan guy. He's the one who killed my dad, right?
there is no question more difficult to answer. However, yep. Papa's dead, son. There's no use in denying the truth. Yes, John, you are correct.
He'll pay for this. I swear he's gonna pay. I'll make him pay myself. No, 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 no. Don't resort to violence yourself.
John, you mustn't finish that thought.
Prosecutor Edgeworth, please, pay us no mind.
Sir, I put out an APB on Dogan. All available police units will be searching for him.
Can we get an APB out on somebody else who is the mastermind behind this entire case? I don't know. Mr. Simon? Whatever. You heard the man, kid. I don't mean to be heartless, but we need to hurry, too. So, Mr. Prosecutor, where's the mastermind right now?
Agent Lang is right. Our top priority right now should be catching the mastermind. He said he would be practicing. He is most likely at the very big circus tent. But first, Agent Lang, I have a request.
A request? What is it?
Now that we've identified the giant monster, our next order of business is to capture it. The moment we arrive at the tent, I need you to locate that specific item post-haste. And Detective, I ask that you perform a follow-up investigation on the kidnapping incident.
Roger that, sirs.
Mr. Edgeworth, I want to help out, too.
In that case, you'll be in charge of calling for backup. If he is truly the mastermind, we may require assistance from a certain someone. I met him so many times, yet his facade always fooled me into sympathy. He may have got the better of me in the past, but this time I'll settle it once and for all.
To be continued. It's 8:25. I feel I can continue going. But before I do that, I'm going to save, and I'm also going to take a quick bathroom break. And also, this root beer is kind of crap, so I think I'm going to move over to something else. Anyway, yeah, the Very Big Circus. I can't believe we're coming back. But, well, I'll be back in just a moment, so hang tight. Okay, I've returned. Here, let me just test the audio again, just to make sure everything's running. Okay. Got it. So, April 6th, 5:30 p.m., the Very Big Circus storage tent. This is a pretty establishment.
Ah, Mr. Edgeworth!
Hey, you stupid clown.
Are you guys here for the show?
Mr. Keys, Miss Barry.
You're a little early. I'm sorry, but we're still getting ready. But I'm so happy you came. You remembered our promise.
Yes, I remembered. You asked us to come and see the show when you gave me this.
I'm so happy you came. Please, enjoy yourselves. I'm sure my performance will surprise you, Mr. Edgeworth.
Your performance has already surprised me, Mr. Keys.
Yep, poker face.
But he hasn't performed yet.
Regina, please have a look at this photo. Is this balloon the property of the Very Big Circus?
It is. Did you see it flying around somewhere?
It's highly likely that this balloon was used by the culprit in the case we are investigating.
Huh?
Who is in charge of the balloon?
Well, that would be Simon, but are you saying...
Yes, we are.
Mr. Keys, you flew this balloon in the middle of the night, did you not?
I do occasionally practice alone at night. I'm not much of a pilot, though. I'm a little clumsy.
So for practice, you'll do something as challenging as flying a balloon at night. Wouldn't that be rather difficult for someone who is clumsy and not much of a pilot?
And then, what do you think I was doing, Mr. Edgeworth?
You brought Kay to the roof of the Grand Tower. in order to frame her for the murder of Jill Crane. Not a single security camera recorded Kay using the elevator. Therefore, the only way she could have gotten up there was through flight. And the only one who could have flown her up there was you, Mr. Keys.
No way! Mr. Edgeworth, how can you say that?
That's not all. You drugged John at the garbage dump and kidnapped him. Wasn't that why you were late when you came to watch the trial of Patricia Rowland?
No way! I have no idea what you're saying. There's no way I could do things like that. Please believe me, Mr. Edgeworth. Please!
I wanted to believe you. However, you have broken that trust yourself.
That's horrible! Why would you say that? Didn't you once say that you would trust me, that you'd believe in me?
Don't you worry about that. We're your allies. That's because we're like birds of a feather, right, Mr. Edgeworth?
Birds of a feather, huh? I suppose that's true. We have sufficient information about your past. I doubt you had a motive to kill Knightley. Rather, you are probably the most affected by his death. And I doubt someone as timid as you could work up the courage to murder someone. Alright, I'll get you out of here. We'll believe in you.
I'm so sad. Those words were all lies. There wasn't a lie. We really did trust you. Kay, even you said you were like birds of a feather, and yet I'm hurt, Kay. You've hurt me deeply. Oh. Hey, Mr. Edgeworth, maybe Simon isn't a bad guy after all.
I see. So that's how you operate. I understand now all too well. No matter who you face, you find an emotional weakness and exploit it. You guide each person towards the outcome you desire without them even noticing it.
Alright. Before I keep going on here. Oh, I didn't mention this when I came back. Yeah, I replaced that root beer that I was drinking before with something a little better. Alright, come on. It's a pop top, so now it's extra... Ow. It's extra difficult to try and uncork, as it were. No, now the stream is, not sponsored and not brought to you by Lemonade. Which is actually not bad. You know, that being from a fake communist party. Anyway.
That is how you were able to mastermind the entire case. I may have fallen for your tricks before, but not this time. Simon Keys, I indict you!
So it's come to this after all. You were always so full of confidence, Mr. Edgeworth. But I rather like that, because now I can rip that confidence to shreds.
Monkey, why? What? He's Fabio! Oh, dear. Yep, smug dick.
Good work, everyone.
His personality has completely changed. So the animal tamer who could not tame animals, that was all a facade? This is the real Simon Keys.
Simon! That's not true, is it? Truth or lie, what difference does it make? Huh? Mr. Edgeworth just made me a little upset, that's all. Down, Piggy. You'll take responsibility for upsetting me, right?
Oh, go cry somewhere else, you clown.
It's true. I practiced with the balloon 2 nights ago. That photo must have been taken when the balloon and I passed near the building. I often fly around that area for advertising purposes. There's nothing unusual about that, right?
You often fly around the Grand Tower in the balloon.
Yeah, even the circus needs to advertise.
Regina, is that true?
Yep. It was Simon's job to advertise using the balloon. Most people who lived around here should have seen it.
That balloon was used in the crime we are investigating.
Like I said, it's just a coincidence. I simply happened to pass by the Grand Tower when that photo was taken.
I shall determine whether or not it was a coincidence after I hear your full story.
Right then. Oh, I have full health. Good. Thank you. Yeah. That's very nice. The game is giving me that opportunity. Okay, so what chapter am I on at this stage? Oh, this is straight up the end. Okay. Well, this might actually happen tonight. It's true, I practiced the balloon 2 nights ago.
Was the balloon launched from this tent?
There's a nice big park near the Sunshine Coliseum. I always launch the balloon there.
I see. In that case, how do you transport the balloon to the park?
Well, it's too heavy to carry by hand. It weighs several hundred pounds. And yet it can fly in the sky. Amazing, isn't it?
I asked you how you transported it. Now answer the question.
Oh, I can't even make some small talk. You're mean, Mr. Edgeworth. I used a truck. The balloon is loaded onto the back of the truck.
A truck?
Yeah, the last time I took the truck and the balloon out was 2 days ago.
I cannot overlook that piece of testimony.
Last time I took the truck and the balloon out was 2 days ago. Well, I know what I'm going to be presenting on now, but...
Allow me to confirm. You haven't driven the truck since then?
Do you really need to confirm that? I mean, I just said it 5 seconds ago.
Answer the question. Or would it be inconvenient for you to do so?
That's a pretty weak provocation coming from you, Mr. Edgeworth. What could be inconvenient about something I've already said? Fine, I get it. That truck has been parked behind the dressing room since 2 days ago. And the balloon and basket are still inside. Is there a problem?
Oh, there's no problem. I simply wanted to express my thanks for that piece of testimony. So the truck was parked here for the past 2 days. That's exactly what I wanted to hear, Mr. Keys.
May I continue? So then, regarding the balloon. That photo must have been taken when the balloon and I passed near the building.
You're saying it was simply a coincidence that you were photographed near the tower?
I get it. I know how you operate now, Mr. Edgeworth. You'll insist that a coincidence is impossible until you get your way. When you say it like that, everything will inevitably go your way. How scary!
You're wrong. Mr. Edgeworth isn't like that.
I'm a little like that. Okay, calm down. He's only trying to provoke an emotional response. He intends to goad us into losing our focus in order to derail the topic at hand. Now, why do you think he would do that?
Because he's a clown. No, I mean because he's trying to hide something, I guess.
Exactly, Kay. We must not let up on him. However, we must continue to keep our composure. Understand?
Yep. So, Simon, allow me, as the assistant, to ask you a question. When you passed by the Grand Tower at the precise moment, was it really just a coincidence? We could have just left things at that, but... For the sake of your assistant, I shall explain my reason for being there. I often fly around the area for advertising purposes.
So, in addition to advertising with the balloon, maintaining the balloon is also your job? Am I wrong?
You're a real stickler for the details, you know. Yeah, that's right. Ask the boss if you want. Right, boss? Yep, Simon is in charge of cleaning and fixing all the stuff that with the balloon. I don't think anyone besides Simon has used a balloon for a while now.
Well, that just adds a little more dirt on him. That confirms he was the one riding the balloon in the photo taken 2 days ago. However, if he is the mastermind, he must have used it today as well. Am I able to prove that?
Looks like you're deep in thought. Is it really that hard to comprehend? Hot air balloons fly in the sky. And in other news, the sky is blue and the grass is green. There's nothing unusual about that, right?
I wonder about that. You flew the balloon in the middle of the night, eerily close to a certain other incident. Would you say there's nothing strange about that as well?
Mr. Edgeworth, isn't that like a really leading question? Won't you please stop being such a naughty prosecutor? It's kind of a downer. It's a clown's job to put smiles on people's faces, after all.
He ducks and weaves around my questions skillfully. Very well, in that case, I will simply have to make use of a more direct attack. We still don't know much about the balloon. In any case, I must draw out more information.
Again, I think I know what I'm doing here. The last time I took the truck and the balloon out was 2 days ago. Let's have a talk about this big-ass truck. I was talking about this, just like, when does this truck come into play? It's been sitting in my inventory for a long-ass time.
The truck you put the balloon into, was it blue by any chance?
Blue? So what if it is?
Today we saw a blue truck carrying a large basket. If that truck just so happens to be yours, then your claim that you last used it 2 days ago becomes a lie.
Big whoop. Aha! The investigation team's here.
Agent Lang, Emma!
Mr. Edgeworth, I finally found you. I've been searching for you ever since the incident yesterday. I dashed right over after Kay contacted me just a little while ago.
Prosecutor Edgeworth, the thing you were looking for? I found it. It was placed in a blue truck at the dressing room parking lot.
A blue truck, as I suspected. That truck is without a doubt the one I saw today.
There are a number of blue trucks out there, you know. Who's to say you're not mistaking it for a different one? It's definitely that one. I got a good look at it. It's time, Mr. Edgeworth, was that it?
It wasn't me. Kay, words have no strength without evidence to back them up.
That's Mr. Edgeworth's voice.
Evidence? Present evidence! Do I have any evidence to prove that this was the truck I saw today?
What's wrong with Mr. Edgeworth? Why are you touching the truck?
The truck's body is cold to the touch. It seems to have been parked here for some time.
You can figure all that out just by touching it? What could prove that this is the truck I saw? Looking for bloodstains. Dusting for prints. Using a metal detector. Oh my god, I have no idea. So it's hinting at the whole... Oh, wait a minute. No. Dust it for prints. Although, again, we're kind of working off of other people's point of views and other people's assumptions, saying just like, oh yeah, I totally saw him touch the truck. Dust the bastard for fingerprints.
I'd like to dust the truck for fingerprints.
Fingerprints? What for? I don't see any point in that.
A certain person's fingerprints should be left on this truck. And these fingerprints will prove this truck was parked in front of the Grand Tower today.
Whose fingerprints prove this truck was in front of the tower? Mine. Edgeworth? Your fingerprints?
Indeed. Earlier today, I touched a truck at the plaza in front of the Grand Tower. The Grand Plaza. I'd like to dust for my prints. Emma, might I request a scientific investigation?
That's what I'm here for. Just leave it to me. All right, we're all set. Go ahead, Mr. Edgeworth.
Wait, you want me to do it?
Yeah, of course. Who else but you, Mr. Edgeworth, would be up to the task? Here, I'll show you how it's done.
All right then. You're the scientist. Why don't you just do it yourself?
First, we sprinkle some aluminum powder over the area you want to investigate. Did I say power instead of powder? Aluminum power. Like this.
Touch the screen to sprinkle the aluminum powder.
The powder will adhere to the fingerprints, so once you sprinkled enough, you blow it away.
Blow it away?
Yeah, just blow on it with your breath. Whoosh.
Blow the powder away by blowing into the microphone.
Got it?
Yes, I think so. I guess we'll do it for real this time.
Just so you know, the key point is to sprinkle the powder all over. All right. Now, before I do that, I think I have built in... I went and built in the microphone that I'm supposed to be using for this thing into this microphone that I'm using right now for the game, for, streaming out. So I'm going to mute it just because that's going to be really obnoxious to hear, like, a very loud sound effect. Oh, here we go. A little bit janky, but it worked. Anyway, we got one! That's a nice clean fingerprint. Oh, hold up. Need to click on the window again.
Let's run the prints against mine post-haste.
Alright, just leave it to me. Miles, you're the murderer. What? These are definitely your fingerprints, Mr. Edgeworth.
Well, it seems to me that we have just proven your statement to be a lie.
God. What were you doing when you were driving this truck around? Good animals. Just taking it for a joyride.
Kay was abducted 2 nights ago. Your balloon was sighted not far from the scene. Today there was another kidnapping in which a garbage truck was used. And once again, your truck was seen nearby.
This all sounds like nothing more than a pure coincidence to me.
So it was pure coincidence that you parked near 2 separate kidnappings? I doubt that. You were involved in both kidnappings, weren't you?
Isn't it a bit rash to automatically assume that the 2 kidnappings were connected?
And what if I had evidence to prove that the 2 crimes were performed by the same culprit?
Oh, you're serious? I can't wait to hear this! What did Kay and John's kidnapping have in common? Oh boy, alright. What did they have in common? Well, both of them had to do with drugs, didn't they? Like, there was a statement that, oh yeah, the sleeping drugs.
Kay was knocked out with a powerful sleeping drug, and a bottle of sleeping drugs was found lying in a place where John was confined. The contents of the bottle were a match with the drugs used on Kay.
So that's all you've got, huh? And here I was getting my hopes up. So the same sleeping drugs were used, so what? You think that connects the 2 incidents? Surely you must realize it yourself. That doesn't prove a thing.
There must be something. Evidence that proves he's connected to those cases?
The police, prosecutors, and even you, Mr. Edgeworth. In the end, you're all the same. You make up evidence as you see fit, just so you can send some poor soul to prison. Isn't there someone like that here? A poor soul who was wrongly accused in the past?
You're wrong! Who would do such a thing?
Then show me the evidence, if you're going to accuse me of a crime. It's only natural.
It's no use. I can't seem to find any other threads linking him to the kidnappings.
Now then, have you finally run out of ammo, Mr. Edgeworth? I still have preparations to make at the circus, so if you'll excuse me.
Objection.
Hello! Hello, Mario. How's it going? Yes, I've discovered that Mr. Keys is a scumbag. Now, you two, no need to get so heated. And Simon, you're looking good in that clown makeup. Hey, what's your deal? Just don't butt in like that. Just don't butt in like that. Uncle Ray's not so good in such a stiff environment. I mean, why so serious, right, Mr. Clown? Hey, Kay, how about a little trick? At last, my moment has arrived! The great Kay Faraday presents a Simon impression!
That was so not subtle. Yeah. Oh, objection! Why you... Enough already. Psst. Hey, Miles. I'm buying you some time to get all your ducks in a row. There's probably a better way to stall for that than this, but whatevs. Whoa, nice one, Kay! I'm not so sure about this method either. But I have to find something that connects Simon to the case. And I need to find it now. Is there evidence not related to the kidnapping that's connected to the mastermind's identity?
I don't know. But again, for safety's sake, I'm going to throw this down. Just in case. I mean, I got a lot of health, but I don't know. That could turn within a moment's notice. Ooh, bells. You went and heard my reaction. I was out of the house. Like, Jesus! The last person I would think was some kind of horrible, evil mastermind is him. It's like, really? Simon Keys? Alright.
That's it! The mastermind is the same person as the young acolyte Doggin was looking for. If I can just connect the young acolyte to Simon... Which piece of evidence could be connected with the mastermind's true identity? Alright.
The young acolyte. Well, if we're... Okay, roundabout. The young acolyte can be... Oh, God. Alright. Wow. Shit. Because there's a lot of roundabout ways that we could connect it, but I don't know what lead exactly. I'm glad I saved. Shit. I'm gonna try this. I don't know.
Knightley and Doggin both communicated through a certain individual.
Oh? Then that somebody must be.
The mastermind behind the case.
Oh my God, I think I got it right.
That's it. The mastermind played a role in the correspondence chess. If I can prove that it was Simon, then...
That's enough. I can't stomach any more of your sorry excuses for a performance. If you have no more objections, then I ask that you let me get back to preparing for the show.
Thank you for the help, Mr. Shields. Though you may have taken it a little too far.
You sure look happy. I take it you found something. Look at me, I'm Simon! Simon's a clown! Funny clown!
Okay, you can stop now. Now then, Mr. Keys. Do you happen to like chess? Would you like to play a nice game of chess?
That was rather out of the blue. But since you asked, I can't say that I dislike chess.
The mastermind played correspondence chess with Sirhan Doggin.
If I recall, it was Knightley who had been playing chess with Doggin, wasn't it? Are you saying that he was the mastermind?
There was no way Knightley could have been the mastermind. The reason being, the mastermind had continued to work behind the scenes even after Knightley's death. That being the case, who could have written this letter?
You like doing a high-pitched Joker voice with that persona? Honestly, it would have worked. I'm just going to stick with what I picked.
I believe someone acted as the middleman between Doggin and Knightley.
So you're saying that you think I'm the middleman? Just why would I have to go through all that trouble and do something like that?
Most likely to make it appear as if there was a connection between Knightley and Doggin. And as a result, Knightley was killed by Patricia Rowland.
No way! Are you saying it was all set up so that he would be killed by her? What are you saying? There's no way I could manipulate a person that far. I don't know, you seem to be a manipulative piece of shit. Look at me! It takes all I have just to get the animals to perform tricks!
If only just a scrap of the letters he exchanged with Knightley still remained. It'd be decisive evidence.
This is where the other part of his name comes in. Oh, I see. Not just shy monkeys. Oh, yeah, definitely. If it's the letters you're looking for, you won't find any in there.
What?
I'm the type of guy who throws his letters away as soon as he's done reading them. Where's the point in living in the past?
Does that mean he's already gotten rid of the evidence?
Mr. Edgeworth, everything you've had said so far has been nothing more than baseless conjecture. Simon, like Simon says, yes.
The evidence. I'm just one step behind it. What should I do? Am I all out of moves?
Without evidence, I would allow you to cast doubt on my friendship with Knightley.
Who was that?
Excuse me. Oh, Miss Barry, did you happen to keep like random notes and like use them as tissue paper? I hope so.
Miss Barry, what's on her mind?
I've been listening in on what you all were saying, and when you say Mr. Knightley, you mean Simon's friend, Mr. Knightley, right?
Yes, that's correct. Does she know something?
That laughing voice I did, it's what you do for Simon. Yeah, good.
This morning, a letter arrived from Mr. Knightley. It was for Simon.
What? What did you say? But that's impossible. Knightley's already dead. Miss Barry, please, let me see that letter.
Okay, here you go.
Quick, open it! Open up someone else's mail! Oh, interesting. Okay.
This is a correspondence chest letter.
This is the response to Dogen's last move! Now, can you see the path to checkmate? I can't wait to see the look on your face! You weren't expecting to lose at chess again, against me, right?
The postmark says March 26th, the day before Knightley's death. Seems the letter arrived late.
Since the circus moves around so much, a lot of the mail people send us, a lot of the mail people send us arrive later.
Now, why was this letter addressed to you? This is proof that you were the middleman between Dogen and Knightley. Normally, you would transcribe this letter into Braille before sending it to Dogen. And in doing so, you created a connection between him and Knightley.
Damn it! Curse you, Knightley! Why must you continue to interfere? Hooray for the crap postal service of Japanifornia. Yes. God bless Japanifornia. Simon, why? Wasn't Knightley your only friend? Don't be ridiculous. I stopped thinking of him as a friend 18 years ago.
18 years ago? Would that have been the day of the IS-7 incident?
Thanks to Knightley, I nearly died that day in the snowstorm. While I was on my way to the contest venue where my father was waiting, Knightley suddenly appeared. He held me down, tied up my hands and feet, and with tears streaming down his face, he kept apologizing. My dad's too scary. I can't disobey him. Please forgive me. I'm sorry. Stop it, Horace! I promised my dad! I said I'd taste his desserts. If I'm not there, Dad will be in trouble. I'm gonna let everyone know my dad's desserts are the best in the world. After that, he locked us inside a car. It was so cold I could see my own breath. Before we knew it, the doors had frozen shut, and not even he could get them open. And then, I lost my father. What? Your father? Horace Knightley was the son of the murderer who killed my father.
What could this mean? His confession runs contrary to the information we have.
But the name of the victim in the IS-7 incident was Isaac Dover. Isaac Dover is my father's name. 18 years ago, my memories were muddled from the shock from my near-death experience. This means that Anubis is over 18 years old. That's a truckin' little dog, I'd say that. Either that or this is like Anubis Mark II somehow. So it wasn't until later that day I learned the truth. On that day, my father was murdered.
The culprit of the IS-7 incident was a confectioner by the name of Dane Gustavia.
So that was the name of Knightley's father. That low-life scum of the earth killed my father. Just the thought of it makes me sick.
So you knew who the culprit was all along?
Of course not. Had I known, I would have tipped off the police a long time ago. All I knew was that Knightley's father was trying to set up my own father. That's why I immediately knew that the one who died that day was my dad. Knightley had a hand in my father's murder, that traitor. He was the son of a killer. It's only natural that he ended up dead.
It would appear that you are a victim of a very serious misunderstanding.
Misunderstanding? Just what are you talking about?
Isaac Dover, at the time, he was actively working as a sculptor in France, under the name Pierre Hoquet.
Is that right? Well, I'm sorry to say, I don't remember that at all.
It's only natural you don't remember. After all, he's not your real father.
What's that supposed to be, a joke? I am not amused.
You won't be able to laugh at all once I reveal the truth to you. This piece of evidence proves that you are not Isaac Dover's son.
Oh, dear God, what? Well, this is interesting. I didn't see this twist, and I am completely not ready for it. What proves that he's not his son? Bloodstained fire. Oh, dear God. Kinda wish I could save at this point, but yeah, I got plenty of health. I'm good. Alright, so this has got to be proof that it was, like, sitting way in the Wayback Machine or something. Well, how did we prove that the kids of the IS-7 people are related to this? Okay. How did we prove that? Well, okay, the report on Knightley was something that we did the connections with. I think, if I remember right. Dogan's chess partner, who identity remained unknown until now, was actually Knightley all along. I don't think this is it. But I have plenty of health, so whatever. What's that supposed to tell me?
Can't you see? This shows that you and Dover aren't...
Mr. Edgeworth, that doesn't prove anything. I honestly don't have a clue what you're trying to get at!
Seems I was wrong.
Hang in there, Miles. Who was really Mr. Dover's son? Here. Safety net! We're so close. Alright. Who was really Mr. Dover's son? If you keep calm and think through, the answer should come naturally. Clearly, it's got to be somebody in this little situation. I love how the picture is now this horrifying clown. We have something to show who is really the son of Dover, and that's how we connected this. I seem to be overlooking something key. Oh.
Isaac Dover's real son.
Mr. Edgeworth, stop joking around. There's no doubt that I'm Isaac Dover's son.
No, I'm sorry, Mr. Keyes, but that's just simply not possible. This piece of evidence proves that you are not Isaac Dover's son.
Let's see. Well, it doesn't make much... actually... The ring. I see now. What's that? Isn't that Knightley's chessboard in his ring?
I want you to take a good look at this ring's design.
There are 2 letters inscribed in it.
That is the seal Pierre Hoquet used as his signature. 18 years ago, it was found lying near the body of Isaac Dover. Why would Knightley have my father's memento with him? The police had found Isaac Dover's son and gave it to him. Isaac Dover's real son is Horace Knightley.
What? But that means I'm...
In other words, you are not the father. Sorry, Dane Gustavia's son.
That's a lie. After all, I'm... My father's... My memories are...
Shite.
I lost my father because Knightley locked me up in the car. That's why I thought it would be fitting if he were killed as well.
Really? I'll be able to see a circus show even in prison? I enjoy playing chess with you, but I'm looking forward to your performance as well.
Yes, please, look forward to it.
Alright, you better drop by again. I'll be thinking about my next move.
Oh yeah, I left something special inside that chessboard for you. You should check it out later.
Something special? I'm not quite sure what you mean, but thanks. I owe you one, Simon.
If only you hadn't stopped me 18 years ago, it wouldn't have had to come to this.
Did you say something?
Nope, not a word. Goodbye, Horace.
Fuck.
After all that, you're saying it was my father who killed Knightley's... Then that means... Was it all for nothing? I didn't want to become some weakling that could be killed by anyone. That's why I thought I'd follow in Mr. Dogan's footsteps.
This finally proves it. Simon Keyes, you are Dogan's correspondence chess partner. And the mastermind behind this case.
That's right. It was me. I'm the mastermind behind it all.
He's finally showing his true colors.
As you all know, I witnessed the incident 12 years ago.
President Huang's assassination. So the child who drew that picture was Simon Keyes.
When I was found out, I was subjected to horrible interrogations over and over by that heartless Patricia. I spent the nights trembling in my bed, terrified of what the next day would bring. I'm sure you can understand why I'd want to sneak out of there, right?
However, Blaze would have likely sent pursuers after you.
Exactly. I was on the run from them every waking moment, 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. I couldn't even sleep at night. I'd jump at the slightest noise. And that's why I became a circus performer. Blaze the Best was the chief prosecutor, and Patricia Rowland was the warden of the prison. No ordinary person would be a match for those two, and there were no adults I could rely on. Furthermore, behind the scenes was the body double who had set those two in motion. Though he was a fake, I was up against the nation's president. Talk about utter despair, right? My only ally was Mr. Dogan. He saved my life, after all. He actually helped me out, unlike Knightley.
If this story is true, it's ironic. Dogan, the fiendish assassin, was idolized by the child he saved.
If I followed in his footsteps, I'd no longer have to worry about being eaten alive. That's right! Now it's my turn. My turn to devour those who feed upon me!
And I suppose you never thought to seek help from the police?
No way! As long as Blaze was around, any evidence would be destroyed by him. Actually, didn't something like that almost happen today during Patricia's trial? I knew from the very beginning that things would turn out like this.
The evidence from Patricia Rowland's trial. So he's saying that he expected the evidence would be destroyed. I see. So that's why you kidnapped John. To force a guilty verdict even in the absence of evidence.
Who's to say?
But in order to expose the crimes of 12 years ago, there was no other choice. Simon is a messed up character. Yeah, the problem is he's also a character that, unfortunately, I kind of see from his perspective why he did it. But I also cannot condone it. So it's kind of a really neat villain in that way. Almost like the Joker, actually.
That's according to you. However, Blaze also attempted to kidnap John in order to manipulate the trial in his favor. Your methods are no different than those of the people you so despise.
That's only if I were actually the kidnapper. But I would never do anything so evil. No way, no way, no way. It just simply couldn't. Besides, Mr. Edgeworth, I'm actually quite thankful to the real criminals for giving me the opportunity to extract such sweet revenge.
So you admit it. Your motive was revenge.
Yeah, I admit it. So what? Sure, I held a grudge against those creeps. But it's not like I'm the one who actually killed them, you know? Truth be told, all I did was send some letters. I let Jill in on Blaze's secrets, and let Blaze in on Jill's secrets. And then the two simply ended up trying to kill each other. Do you mean to say the murder was nothing more than a result of that? Yep. Just like the case at Gourd Lake. It was way easier than trying to control wild animals. All I did was come up with a fake assassination plan for Knightley.
So that was also a part of his plan. If that's the case, then Rook's murder was also your...
Whoa! Don't try to pin that on me. Knightley killed him all on his own. Well, it ended up creating the perfect opportunity for me. It's funny how things work out. How can you say such a thing? It's the same for Patricia Rowland. I made it look like there was a connection between Knightley and Dogan by using the correspondence chess match and the chisel in the chessboard.
What? You mean to say that you were the one who prepared that chisel?
That's right. I thought it would bring Dogan to mind. Quite a thoughtful little gift, wouldn't you agree? And that was all it took to get Patricia to murder Knightley. Oh, the feeling that everyone around you is an enemy. I know it all too well. The tiniest spark can set off an explosion of fear, resulting in horrific mutual destruction. All I did was watch the comedy of errors unfold from the audience. And you were my final pawn, Mr. Edgeworth.
A pawn? Me?
When you solved their cases, you brought both Blaze and Patricia to their ruin. And the weapon that delivered the coup de grace was your own logic. So DeBest was right. Simon did put the chisel in the chessboard. Shit, retroactively, he is right.
I didn't solve those cases for your sake.
Oh, I know. You never really cared about saving me. You just wanted to pretend to be a defense attorney, didn't you?
What did you...
All I had to do was go, no way, no way, no way, no way, and act all scared. And you totally believed me. You were giving it your all trying to save me.
So even your arrest was just a plan to make use of my logic?
To be fair, getting arrested wasn't part of the plan. When people began to suspect that the chisel I sent was the murder weapon, honestly, I broke out in a cold sweat. I thought for sure it would be curtains for me. But then, a turnabout of miraculous proportions. The genius prosecutor himself had come to my rescue. Well, doesn't it feel nice to be thanked by me, the one that you saved? You should be grateful. I gave you this chance to play the ace attorney. You're wrong! He wasn't pretending to be a defense attorney. Mr. Edgeworth is always serious about saving people. Even the times when he saved me in the past.
Okay.
Is that so? Are you sure he's not just trying to emulate his own father? So, the one he admires so much? Absolutely not! That's not true at all! Now, Kay. The person he's talking about now isn't Miles, but rather Simon himself. Clearly, he's not able to trust others.
The desire to save someone other than himself is something he cannot even comprehend. Say what you want, but make sure you think about it long and hard. Sure, all my targets for revenge got what they deserved in the end. However... Yay, we get to break him one last time. Think about it. Can any one of my actions really be considered a crime? I instigated murder. There's not a single word about that in the letter, is there? If I had said the word kill even once, I guess it'd be considered an instigation. Well, maybe I did say it, but there's no way for you to prove it. Does anybody have a recorder on them? God damn it, I wish we were living in, like, the 2018s where everybody's probably chipped and being listened to. What are you saying? You kidnapped me! I'm sorry, but that hasn't been proven yet, has it? The only thing I admitted to was sending the letters. Besides, those letters contain no threats or coercion. I simply conveyed information. Information that each recipient would find beneficial. Oh, this is 2019. Oh, yeah. Shit. Oh, my brain. Muddled. Oh, this is 20... Oh, wait, does this story take place in 2019? Wait, I'm very confused. Wait, what am I thinking? What's 2018 right now? You crafty little... Nope. Can't we do something about it? What was it he said? Integrating murder? Instigating murder is when a person directs someone else to commit murder. The person who directed the murder can be charged as if he committed the crime himself. So we just have to find proof that he directed those murders. You make it sound so easy. To be honest, it kind of pisses me off a little. You're all trying to frame an innocent person for murder. Don't you understand? I'm not obligated to waste any more of my time on this pointless discussion. April 26, 2019 is the current date in the game. Okay, so, yeah, no excuses. Somebody needs to have a recording device on them. The police are waiting for you outside of this tent. You have nowhere to run. Really now? You think I wouldn't have an escape route prepared? Ride the piggy to victory. No. For example, let's say I gave an order so that all the animals here attacked you. Now, what if I were to take my leave during the ensuing chaos? What'd you say? You can't be serious. It was just an example. Wouldn't that make for an interesting show? Here's another idea. What if I pulled out a hidden gun and took John hostage? That might be more exciting. I will never allow you to do such a thing. I can't tell whether or not Simon is being serious. However, when it comes to him, we should consider anything a possibility. If you continue to bore me with your drivel, I'll end the show right here. I'd like you to keep that in mind before you make any baseless objections. Oh, shit. I cannot make any careless remarks. Isn't there some way I can charge him with his crimes? Alright. So baseless remarks, does that mean I can at least still press him? That's all I want. If I can just press him, then I can make this a thing. Let's shoot this clown. I now know what's called the grand turnabout. Okay, can any one of my actions really be considered a crime? You incited others to commit murder, and they did so. If proof of that was established, you would be charged as if you yourself committed the murders. I know I heard it just a while ago, but what's the technical term again? It's instigating murder, Kay. Blaze, Patricia Rowland, and Knightley. Their crimes are unforgivable, of course. However, the one who pulled the strings from behind the scenes and drove them all to murder was none other than you, Simon Keyes. Mr. Edgeworth, you really do speak your mind freely. But, you know, I instigated murder. There's not a single word about that in the letter, is there? They might be. I'm going to take a look at every single one of them. There's not
a single word.
Oh, does that surprise you? You'd reach the same conclusion if you'd examined it.
Given his composure, I'd say he's not bluffing. Does this mean that every single word in his letters had been carefully calculated?
Well, I guess you could say this is like teaching a monkey to climb a tree. Unless you can somehow prove that I caused those murders, you've got nothing on me. Ergo, you can't accuse me of instigating murder. What a shame, Mr. Edgeworth. If I had said the word kill even once, I guess it could be considered instigation.
I know you instigated the murders.
Perhaps I should let you in on this, Mr. Edgeworth. Actually, I was the one who ordered Blaze the Best to kill Joe Crane.
What? You told me yourself.
But you know, the funny thing is, it means absolutely nothing if you have no proof. I mean, there's no way I'd ever say something like that. No way, no way, no way, no way.
That's certainly true. It means absolutely nothing if I can't prove it. If there was some evidence that could prove what he said over the phone...
Hello! Well, maybe I did say it, but there's no way for you to prove it. Well, no idea. Was the bug off at the time? Or what about Nicole's tape recorder? Yes. You shitbag.
It is my firm conviction that you instigated the murders. After all, you told me so yourself.
Perhaps I should let you in on this, Mr. Edgeworth. Actually, I was the one who ordered Blaze the Best to kill Joe Crane.
What?
Did I say that? I really don't remember.
Someone's tape recorder does. You may think you can deceive us as much as you want, but unfortunately for you...
Unfortunately?
You used a bug to eavesdrop on our conversations. But there was someone else who wiretapped that bug of yours and recorded the whole thing.
It was recorded?
In other words, the conversation between you and that clown is recorded on that tape? Langsy says, a schemer drowns in his own schemes, and this is what he meant. Miss Swift, I'd like to listen to your tape.
Roger! It's right about here. Mr. Edgeworth, Judge Courtney's cell phone is ringing.
Who is this? Are you the person who ambushed Kay?
Mr. Edgeworth, I want to listen on this too.
Very well. This is where it starts.
Well, I must say,
Oh, you bastard. Oh, you bastard. Ah, that's odd.
What's wrong?
Well, there ain't nothing recorded past this point.
What?
Why? Wasn't it recorded? Too bad, so sad. Did you really think I'd leave behind any incriminating evidence? That bug I planted has a special feature. It can be turned on and off with a remote control. What? That sort of thing exists? Yeah, I mean, oh my god, technology. Whoa, amazing. Certainly remote-controlled listening devices do exist. However, are you saying you switched off the device so that your own voice would not be recorded? Precisely!
Impossible! You couldn't have done that unless you knew you were being recorded.
Isn't it obvious I knew? I guess you just don't get it. You could call it a hunch. I had a feeling I was being wiretapped. Miss Swift, was it? I figured things out because you knew about the kidnapping.
Don't tell me. You were listening in on that conversation?
That's right. Though, come to think of it, I'm surprised you didn't realize it until now. Some genius prosecutor you turned out to be, Mr. Edgeworth. Oh my, and what was the end result of all this? Oh, since you don't have any proof of the instigating charges, it's game over. Mr. Prosecutor, was my recording had no help to you at all? Ain't there something in it at all, my recording?
Miss Swift.
Okay. Yes? The bug was planted in your badge, right? Do you have any ideas? How do you expect me to come up with an answer right off the top of my head? You were the one who came into contact with the culprit. How unsightly. You're all fussing over useless evidence. Hero is really pushing Edgeworth's buttons. I don't know. I'm getting this strange suspicion that we are about to have, like, I don't know, a lengthy ending scenario. Let's move on to the next topic. Next!
What's this? He seems a bit eager to change the topic of conversation.
You were the only one that came in. What the this literally just happened.
Only Kay came into contact with Simon? If any sound was recorded at the time, she was with the culprit. Miss Swift, how long have you been recording?
Since 2 nights ago, I reckon.
Since 2 nights ago. In that case, when could a conversation with Simon possibly have been recorded?
Conversation with him, eh? It had to have happened around the time that she lost her memories. And if that's the case, I wonder what the fuck he said.
2 nights ago, Simon brought Kay to the roof. If we listen to the recording from that time frame... Miss Swift, please, let us listen to the recording from 2 nights ago.
Okay, okay. Yeah. This is the sound of a hot air balloon.
That's right. At the time, Simon was carrying Kay in a hot air balloon. Ergo, he was near Kay. Isn't there anything recorded?
Bang. Clang. That was a gunshot.
Seems you were quick to deactivate the bug. However, you were a little too late. You can't run anymore. That gunshot ties you to the case, sir.
What are you saying? There's no gun involved in this case, is there?
No. There should be someone connected to the case who fired a gun. Let's strike with the evidence that points to that person.
Which piece of evidence connects the gunshot to the case? Okay. The gunshot. Are we referring to... You realize that this means Nicole is more useful than Lotta. Yep. Well aware. Now, are we talking an actual gunshot, or are we talking the whole situation with fireworks and stuff at the circus? Which, actually, no, it was at the right, at the concert hall or whatever. Or was there a gun and I've completely forgotten about it? Let me think back. Because again, you're not dead because of a gunshot. And also, Jill Crane is not dead because of a gunshot. To my I don't... God. Maybe I'm a little bit, mush-headed here, but I don't remember there ever being guns involved in this crime, so my guess is that this has to do with the explosion. But what piece of evidence would have proven that? I'm trying to remember which one it would have been. A gun was mentioned. Oh, okay. In one location. Thinking. Well, I don't think that would be it. There's a security camera footage. No.
What was it? This is about the secret entrance on the 51st floor. Mozilla's head. Mozilla doll. 2 nights ago, the president never passed through the 51st. Okay. John's practice had no guns in it. Mechanics gloves. I don't think there was any kind of guns involved, or the blue truck. And the I-7 incident is like, long ass time ago, so no. I don't think there's any guns mentioned in Knightley's report, or his mementos, or recording of what was intercepted from the bug that was planted. I'm trying to remember, because again, somebody passed by. What piece of evidence did we use to prove that? Somebody passed by the stadium, and there was like a bang that was misinterpreted as maybe a gunshot or something. Do I want a hint? If you can make it really subtle, then yeah. And there were no guns involved in that previous case. I don't even know. Again, we're talking about stuff that happened like just now, so nothing from the past are going to be able to make that connection. Also, I do notice that killing 2 birds with 1 stone, technically kill, was used in this. Irrefutable proof that a gun was fired. Oh my god. Just popped into my head. Wait a minute. Gunpowder residue was found on his right hand. It's this! Right, I was wondering why someone had a gun.
It's written right here in the body double's autopsy report.
Killing 2 birds with 1 stone is an expression. I know, but can't we be technical about it? Can't we? No, we can't. Oh well.
Gunpowder residue was detected on his right hand. Where was Kay at the time the gunshot was recorded? That's right, she was being carried to the roof of the Grand Tower in your balloon. And as it turns out, there were a few more people on that very same rooftop at the time.
You mean the double and me? Certainly, after we talked for a brief moment. The body double noticed something and had me leave before him.
Now, what if the gunshot rang out after that? We can clearly hear it in the recording. I doubt that you wouldn't have noticed it. Do you intend to feign ignorance until the very end?
That's nothing more than mere conjecture.
What we heard on the recording was not just a gunshot. If you listen closely, you can hear the bullet hitting something. If the body double was aiming at Simon, then the bullet may have struck which piece of evidence?
It would have hit the balloon. I mean, I'm not entirely sure what that's supposed to prove, but...
The body double likely fired the gun at the balloon. If we assume that the bullet hit something, it would have been the balloon's basket.
Let's examine it immediately. Oh, sweet. I see where you're going with that. Let's look at the bottom. Hello, sir.
This hole.
It's a bullet hole.
A bullet hole was found in the basket. You won't be able to talk your way out of this one.
I regularly shoot at my balloon. It's weird, isn't it?
How do you intend to explain the gunshot and bullet hole?
So you figured it out. You're good. I guess it's impossible to hide anything from you. Spit it out already! Okay, no need to be impatient. It happened when I was riding the balloon to the rooftop. I saw the body double and you, Miss Courtney, on the roof. Talk about a surprise! Only the double noticed me. He told Miss Courtney to leave ahead of him. He then pointed a gun at me and fired. Why did he want to shoot down the balloon? It's simple. The body double had intended to kill Miss Courtney. Kill me? That's right! You talked to the double about John, didn't you? Well, it's not like the body double would have met you otherwise. From his point of view, it was like showing him evidence that he was a fake.
You mean he was afraid of Judge Courtney because she knew about John's past?
Afraid? That's exactly right. The body double was a coward after all. I even remember how his hands were trembling when he fired the gun at my balloon. Are we all clear now? I was only there by chance. Just a friendly witness who was passing by.
Something smells about that. And also, how the heck did you manage to... I mean, okay. What this was 2 nights ago? How many nights ago was Kay kidnapped? I'm trying to remember. Was she kidnapped? She was kidnapped like 1 night ago, right?
Around what time was that?
I think it was around 11 p.m. It should coincide with the time Miss Courtney and company were on the roof, right? Yes, it was indeed around that time.
There doesn't seem to be any contradictions. However, the time frame is important.
And it was in that moment I saw the body double and you, Miss Courtney, on the roof. Talk about a surprise.
Are you saying this rooftop rendezvous was beyond your expectations?
There's no way I could have known about that beforehand. Well, once the dust settled, I could guess what would have... I could guess what would have happened, though. The double had intended to kill Miss Courtney. Hey, did you realize that? No, I did not realize it. It's because you were blabbering on about that kid. That's... What kind of mother are you? If things had gone badly, your kid would have died because of you.
You bastard.
I'm your opponent, not her. Don't change the conversation. Judge Courtney, I'd like you to please leave this to me.
My apologies, Prosecutor Edgeworth. Oh, goddess of law. Please watch over this man and grant him aid. You're making me laugh. This lady didn't even notice the balloon. Only the double noticed me. He told Miss Courtney to leave ahead of him.
He had her leave ahead of him? Didn't you say the body double had planned to kill her?
Maybe he thought it would be bad if someone saw the scene of the murder. At the time, no one knew the president was a fake, right? Once he got info on John, he'd be able to kill both mother and son whenever he wanted. Thank goodness he's dead! Now you're both safe. You should be happy.
Whatever emotions you have towards that man, please put them aside until it's all over. For now, please continue your story.
As you wish. And so, the cowardly body double must have panicked when an eyewitness suddenly appeared from the skies. He then pointed a gun at me and fired.
The bullet struck the balloon's basket cleanly.
I panicked and quickly tried to get away so he wouldn't shoot me down, but talk about a close call.
You say you tried to get away right then?
That's right. Is there a problem?
Is there a problem with his statement?
I mean, hot air balloons are slow as shit. I would say he probably could have taken a couple of pot shots at him before then.
You must have placed Kay on the rooftop. You couldn't have gotten away before then, correct?
Yeah, that's right. I forgot. After the body double fired one shot, he entered the hatch to the 51st floor. I looked around for a bit and then landed on the roof.
Please add that statement to your testimony.
Sure, I don't mind. After the double fired one shot, he entered the hatch to the 51st floor.
You mean the hatch that leads to the hidden storeroom for the black market auction?
Black market auction?
I don't really want to remember, but that was 2 days ago, right?
Indeed, the black market auction was held on the 50th floor of the Grand Tower.
A lot of people must have been coming and going through the storeroom during that incident.
Indeed, if the double truly did enter the storeroom as Simon said, it's strange that no one noticed him. The problem here is when the incident occurred. If we know the precise moment that a certain piece of evidence may come in handy. Eyewitness testimony from the balloon.
So that means if Simon hadn't come,
Judge Courtney would probably have been in danger.
So wouldn't that mean he saved her life?
The motive behind Mr. Keyes' actions was probably not so noble. After all, this man was there to commit a crime just like the fake president. To expose his crimes, I'll need to listen carefully to his testimony. There must be an opening somewhere.
And I think I know what opening it was. So, after the double fired shot, 51st floor. That's it. That's the thing. He made it to the 51st floor. And now we need to make... We need to figure out just what time that would have been. But first, I'm going to save. Since we unlocked some dialogue, I think. Now... Alright. So, this would have had to happen at a certain point when the auction wasn't happening, or people weren't paying... Yeah, it must have been when the auction wasn't happening. Or something to that degree. And if that's the case, what piece of evidence would line up with this? As the double fired one shot, he entered the hatch to the 51st floor. What would the timing of that have been? And what would prove this? This is the Grand Tower. Black market auctions were held here. There is a secret entrance to the 51st floor. Nothing else of note aside from a picture of it. I kind of want to present the Grand Tower for some reason, but there's something that tells me that's not right. I might if I can't think of anything else. Well, hold up a second. 2 nights ago, the president never passed through the 51st floor storeroom. Hey! How about that?
Once again, you lied.
Lied?
The body double could not have entered the storeroom on the 51st floor 2 nights ago. Miss Hart's testimony proves it.
What? How can you trust that sham journalist testimony? A lot of being helpful. Technically speaking, it was helpfulness out of her own negligence. What did you say? You can't insult my mentor like that. 2 nights ago, that lady was staking out the 51st floor. Given that, just how did that body double leave the roof?
Indeed, that is what we must now prove. If he did not use the elevator or the 51st floor to leave the roof, then only one route remains.
How did the body double leave the roof without using the elevator or the 51st floor? God damn it. I wish this was a multiple choice thing. Just like, he flew, he teleported. Balloon. Yeah, I know. Geronimo.
The body double flew.
He flew.
Simon Keys, he rode in your balloon.
Hey, stop joking around. Why would I have needed to give the body a double lift?
The elevator had a security camera, and the 51st floor was being watched by Miss Hart. Your balloon was the only way the body double could have left the roof.
At the circus, we often perform dangerous stunts in order to surprise the audience. You think you've got me cornered? Sorry, but the show ends here.
What?
Hey you, Lana, was it? I'd like to ask you something. Are you saying you stood watch on the 51st floor the entire time without any breaks? Well, reckon, course, there ain't no mistakes in my testimony. Really now? But didn't the sound of Mr. Hedgeworth's assistant falling into the storeroom cause you to faint? I didn't mention it before, but after that I might have dozed off a little. To be more precise, I fainted. Well, something like that.
Something did happen.
And just like that, Lana is useless again. Damn it.
Miss Hart, I have determined the sound that made you faint. It was likely the sound of Kay falling out of the storeroom floor. Onto random.
What's your point? Nobody's perfect. Look at her, Mr. Edgeworth. That's the kind of person you're relying on.
Kay fell into the storeroom after the body double had left the room.
In that case,
I have a theory on how things happened. After that cowardly body double fired a shot at me. Double fired a shot at me. He went up and hid in the shadows until Kay fell into the storeroom.
What? So what if he was hiding?
Good grief, you guys still haven't noticed? What if the body double stayed hidden until Lotta had fainted? And then he went down to the 51st floor.
That can't be.
Precisely. The locked room mystery on the roof has been unlocked.
God. He even said it in my voice. I didn't, because it wasn't really prompting me.
But wait, there's more. I told the hidden body double about John Marsh. That's why he attacked John the next day during practice, but got himself killed instead. In other words, the one who murdered the body double was none other than John.
John had no motive to kill the body double.
He knew he was the real president's son.
And how would he have known that?
Because I told him so. In a letter.
What did you say?
That is a lie. Yep, it's all a lie.
Huh?
But then again, maybe not. Maybe I really did tell him. Right, John?
It's true that I caused Mozilla's head to fall, but I didn't know about my dad until today. I'm not lying.
Oh, really? I wonder about that. I found out about the head falling thanks to the bug. Now, if you are the one who caused it to fall, and the body double was crushed to death... that settles it! You're the culprit! You successfully carried out your revenge. Congratulations! All the pieces of the puzzle are now in place, as Mr. Edgeworth would say.
The logic fits! Now then, any rebuttals?
The murder of the double. Good God. Forgot to mention, got mod server running on Jake's server, and I was wondering when you done. Okay, I will join you in the event I have time. But yeah, I'm right in the dead set middle of basically the ending of this game. So we'll see. Manipulating humans into fighting with each other. Sounds just like me, right? I did the same thing to Knightley and Blaze. At any rate, there's no way the body double could have gone for a ride in my balloon. The double was crushed by the monster's head, right? And who was it that caused the monster's head to fall? So now I'm starting to think that he was crushed by something else. Interesting. Do you understand now who the body double's real killer is? The truth that I provided them with gave them a big motive for murder. Get it? Those two tried to kill each other because of the truth you're so fond of.
Impossible.
Hey, you detectives over there! Hurry up and arrest this murderer! What's wrong? Why aren't you moving?
Damn.
I thought so. Just admit it. In the end, aren't you all the same as Blaze and the body double? You ignore the prime suspect and come after me without any evidence. How easy it can be distorted to best suit your needs. This law you all believe in.
That is treachery, just like the goddess of law. No, that is by no means true. If you're not gonna arrest anyone, maybe I should have a talk with the policeman outside. If I tell them that John Marsh is the killer, they'll be forced to take action.
Simon Keys, your testimony isn't over yet.
Pig, squirrel, cat, lead. Really, I figured you'd try to stop me, Mr. Edgeworth. You don't have any evidence, do you? Which means there's no chance for you to win, right? But if you still plan to stop me, you should be prepared to take on this much risk. Fucking shit!
What? That much?
It's only natural, after all. The fate of the true culprit, John Marsh, is at stake here. Hey, Miles. Why don't you take a nice, deep breath?
Mr. Shields?
At times like this, you should take a breather and think back. Defense attorneys always remain calm in a pinch and smile in the face of danger.
The point of contention between your logic and his claims lies in the body double's escape route. How's about, for example, we think of it like this. What's important isn't whether or not the body double got on the balloon, but rather, if we were to assume he did, what circumstances would have allowed for that?
Turn my thinking around.
I already have. I've got an idea of what the hell happened here.
Well, all I'm doing is a cheap imitation of your old man. Did it help?
Circumstances that would have allowed the body double to get on the balloon. That's right. The body double not only had a large build, but he also had a gun. And in spite of that, no traces of sleeping drugs were found in his system. Which means... it can't be!
Mr. Edgeworth, are you ready yet? Hope you haven't forgotten about this!
This is bad. I must break his testimony somehow.
Hold on. Hold the phone. I want to make sure I have a safety net. He protect. And he object. Right, I got a good idea about what the heck's happening here. Humans with fighting each other sounds just like me, right?
So you manipulate the body double and John to your will. You seem rather persistent about that, aren't you?
Very much so. I'm an animal tamer, after all. And isn't the greatest animal in the world man? I just tell people the truth in order to help them get revenge. They should all be thanking me. Mr. Edgeworth, I'm kind of scared.
Steel yourself, Kay. One who sows seeds of revenge as a jest. This is an opponent we must stop at all costs.
The sins of the past are scary. So scary. You'll never see your retribution coming. I did the same thing the night Liam Blaze.
So you still intend to insist that you were not directly involved to the very end?
Right. I never dirtied my own hands. I just like to watch. As they hate and kill each other, never realizing that they were being manipulated all along. Spectating from afar, just like you did 12 years ago. You mean the SS5 incident? That's so funny. If I remember correctly, all your father's hard work amounted to nothing. Wouldn't you normally call someone like that incompetent?
You! Oh, no, down, puppy, down.
Agent Lang, restrain yourself.
Damn it. Someone get a collar.
We don't know the conclusion your father arrived at. However, we are here now because we chased after his footsteps.
Sorry to interrupt your little moment, but I don't believe that kind of idealism will solve anything. Besides,
at any rate, there's no way the body double could have gone for a ride in my balloon.
That's the only way the double could have gotten off the tower.
Well, let's suppose that was the case. Even if I had carried the body double down, what's the problem with that?
So you admit it! You did carry the body double!
No, he said nothing like that.
Let's not make a fuss over absurd opinions, Mr. Edgeworth. That's just not like you. You think the body double held me at gunpoint and asked me to go on a sightseeing joyride? There's no way that could have happened. And you know that full well, don't you?
It's possible you negotiated with him by using the information about John as a bribe.
But he shot at me, remember? There's just no way we could negotiate.
In that case, what if you used sleeping drugs and transported him while he was knocked out? He didn't have sleeping drugs in him.
Then allow me to ask, have they deducted any traces of sleeping drugs from his body? It's no good. I can't find any openings.
Mr. Edgeworth, isn't there something more interesting we should be talking about? The double was crushed by the monster's head, right?
I wonder about that.
Allow me to propose a question. Was the double really crushed beneath the monster's head?
For a genius prosecutor, you sure are quick to withdraw your previous statements. Weren't you the one who deduced that he was crushed by the monster's head to begin with?
Indeed, I certainly came to that conclusion once before. However, that was when we knew of nothing else that was capable of crushing him to death.
Knew? Why in past tense? It's not like there's anything else now, you know. The body double was crushed to death by the monster's head. That is an unshakable fact.
Is there nothing else? Some decisive evidence that connects this man to the crushed president?
How unsightly, Mr. Edgeworth. Why don't you stop this useless struggle? Besides, don't you already know who the culprit is? Remember? And who was it that caused the monster's head to fall?
Certainly the one who caused the monster's head to fall was John. However,
even John himself admits to that. Well then, doesn't that settle everything? Good job, guys. Case closed. The one who killed the double was John Marsh, and since the police just happened to be here...
no, not yet. There's still room for further investigation.
Don't force yourself. Well, then tell me, what else is there to investigate? And if you can't, I want that kid arrested as soon as possible. You aren't going to overlook a crime, are you? Am I wrong? Mr. Edgeworth, what do we do? Is there really no hope left?
Think. If Mr. Keyes killed the double, then the murder could only have occurred when the two met face to face. What he had with him at the time must be the real murder weapon.
Boy, they are really hitting the ever-loving hell out of this. Darn it, does he intend to play innocent until the very end?
The body double's cause of death was rather unique. If he was crushed under the monster's head,
then the killer would be John after all. Isn't there anything else that could have crushed the double?
Something else that could have crushed the body double.
Yes. This is so... This is, like, so telegraphed to hell. It's amazing. This can't be it.
John was not the one who killed the body double. He was crushed by a monster.
Quit clowning around! That isn't like you at all. I get it, since John's supposed to understand the heart of a monster.
The one who understands the heart of a monster is you.
Not even I have monsters for friends, you know.
Stop being so modest. Didn't you have one very important friend? A monster you control at will? Simon Keyes, you're the one who killed the body double.
That's... the lion balloon?
A monster made of cloth that expands when filled with hot air. It suits you quite well, wouldn't you agree?
Sorry, but I have no idea what you're talking about.
You've been fixated on your claim that you manipulated John and the body double. Probably because it's an impossible fantasy of yours. After all, even an animal tamer cannot tame the dead. The body double had already been murdered while he was on the roof. And the murder weapon was the balloon you were in.
I see. Although it floats in the air, that balloon still weighs several hundred pounds.
When the double threatened you on the rooftop, you immediately came up with a plan to defend yourself. And that plan was to crush him with your balloon. Whether the body double wanted to get on, or that he was carrying a gun, none of that matters. Because what you carried in your balloon was the body double's corpse.
Hold on a second, Mr. Edgeworth. You're saying the double was killed on the rooftop 2 nights ago? Well, that simply doesn't match up with the time of death.
What did you say?
That's not like you at all, Mr. Edgeworth. Take a good look at the autopsy report. The time of death was around 11 p.m. last night!
Last night?
That's right. The very moment that Mozilla's head fell off. Fell, rather. Well, Johnny boy, come on. How about telling us the truth? You killed your father, right? I know the feeling.
You hated him, didn't you? Your father, who left you all alone forever.
You're wrong. I had no idea that guy was my dad.
Not this again. Didn't I personally tell you myself?
Was my logic wrong?
Mr. Edgeworth, allow me to thank you once again for chasing down Blaze and Patricia and bringing them both to ruin. My revenge was a success, all thanks to your logic.
If only the time of death matched up, then my logic would fit. Perhaps he did something to throw off the time of death.
And what's more, Dane Gustavia, was it? You even took down the culprit of the IS-7 incident.
Dane Gustavia and the IS-7 incident. That's it. Gustavia killed Dover and hid his body in a block of ice. Mr. Gustavia intended to freeze the body in order to throw off the time of death. If the time of death had coincided with the tea party, Mr. Gustavia would have been suspected.
That is correct.
That's a shame that I didn't get to witness his destruction. How could you say that? Wasn't Mr. Gustavia your father, Simon? I feel like he doesn't have a father at this stage. I'm scared. I'm so scared. Mr. Roland keeps asking me about that day. Daddy, help me! Why won't you come save me? Is it because I broke my promise with you and didn't eat your sweets? I couldn't care less. My father left me all alone. Even if we share the same blood, that man is not my father. May have been his father, but he wasn't his dad.
I hate to say it, but like father, like son, you're the splitting image of him, Simon. The father you hated so much.
What are you talking about?
It must have been fate. By sheer coincidence, you just happened to use the exact same method your father did to throw off the victim's time of death.
And we rescued him from the refrigerator warehouse near the harbor, pal.
A refrigerator warehouse? You're saying that I threw off the time of death? How would I have done that?
The answer lies in where you hid the body double's body. Holy shit, that's a hard thing to say.
This was the place you used to hit the body. Okay, so that is it's the Sunshine. Is the Sunshine Warehouse the one that's all like the yeah? It's weird because it says absolutely nothing on here about it being like a fridge warehouse, but I think this is the Sunshine Warehouse.
Throwing off the time of death by freezing the body, along with John's kidnapping. It seems that everything is coming together.
The kidnapping? Why are we going back to that? I don't know a thing about it.
Don't forget, John was confined in a refrigerated warehouse. That's right. You kept the body double's corpse in that very same warehouse. Yes, he's an ice sculpture now. Look, he's so pretty. 18 years ago, your father hid a body in the same way.
What? My father, the one who abandoned me, did the same thing?
Who would have guessed that both father and son would use the same method?
Stop it. Don't let me in with that guy. My father, I'm nothing like him. There's not a single connection between us. Objection. You may think so, but even now your bond with Mr. Gustavia still remains. Didn't you say once before, I don't like sweets? That may have come from the shock of losing your father, don't you think? You guys have no idea what you're saying.
Even if you deny your father, aren't your thoughts and actions the same? Particularly, your belief of sacrificing others to protect yourself. And finally, your crimes were brought to life just as his were.
Just kidding. God damn it. I don't know anything about that warehouse. I had nothing to do with the kidnapping, after all.
In order to threaten Judge Courtney, it's clear that you partook in the kidnapping. Son of a bitch.
How scary! Those who get involved with you will be charged with all sorts of crimes. In the end, there's no evidence. For the instigation and for the kidnapping. None at all. Or what? Are you gonna forge some evidence? Just like Blaze and the rest?
I'll do nothing of the sort. I can't let him provoke me.
You always say, I'll pursue the truth, no matter what, right? Don't you mean only the truth that's most convenient to you? After all, that's how the police pull the wool over the eyes of those without power. And that's why my revenge was necessary. None of you can catch me! Not Patricia, not Blaze, and not even you. Mr. Edgeworth, at this rate, isn't there something, anything we can do?
Even though all my logic points to this man, I just need evidence. Even a single piece of evidence would suffice.
Well, it's been a fun show, but it looks like it's time for the curtains to close. If you'd like, why don't you come and see my next performance? I'll let you, if you admit defeat.
Hold it, please. Help. Someone. Who are you? Who did the thing? Who was that? Gumshoe!
Sorry to keep you waiting, Mr. Edgeworth.
Gummy, where'd you go?
I was just doing the job that I'm able to do, pal. Detective Gumshoe, your report, please. I did a quick investigation, sir, about the warehouse John was at.
Ooh, fun.
That refrigerated warehouse is currently being rented by the Berry Big Circus, just as Mr. Edgeworth said.
So it's finally here. A trump card.
Well done, Detective Gumshoe. Now then, Mr. Keys.
There must be some mistake. Maybe it has something to do with the circus.
I see. Indeed, we are not well informed with the affairs of the circus. In that case, why don't we get your boss's opinion on this? Regina?
We are renting a refrigerated warehouse to store the animals' food, but I don't know much about the place. After all, I let Simon handle everything.
Curse you!
Yeah, Simon, how scary.
What a shame. It seems your desperate actions after the crime were in vain. If the body was found in the warehouse, suspicion would have fallen on you, the one in charge. That's why you specifically moved the body back to the Grand Tower, wasn't it? However, us finding John confined to the warehouse was a fatal mistake on your part. Our resident great thief and detective are both rather exemplary. What's wrong? I can even tell through your face paint that you're looking pale.
It's not over yet, Mr. Edgeworth. Your logic is missing the most important piece of evidence.
Oh, please do tell.
Tisn't it obvious? Evidence that I killed the body double with the balloon. You can't present it, can you? After all, there's no way such evidence could possibly exist.
Have we examined all the balloon? We need to check that.
The evidence it exists.
What'd you say?
If Mr. Keys murdered the victim, traces of the murder should still remain here.
Alright. Well, let's think. Well, I mean, the traces would be on the body, wouldn't it? Can we match up the wounds with just the shape, the specific shape of what the hell just happened? Either that, or maybe it's actually traces of the murder should remain at the Grand Tower. Hey!
Can't you look at this piece of evidence? Traces of the murder still remain on it.
I honestly have no clue why you should you show me that. Mr. Edgeworth, you're a genius prosecutor, aren't you? Do you really think such a thing could even be evidence? Shit. Okay. I thought maybe, just maybe, we could look for more evidence at the tower. In that case...
Indeed, if traces of the murder remain, it must be there.
Alright, it must be on the balloon then. Because it seemed like it was pretty freaking clean. Well, the body seemed pretty clean of anything showing the balloon. but the balloon might have something.
It should become clear once we examine the basket of this balloon.
The balloon again? Didn't you already find the bullet hole? There's no way you'll find anything else there. Yeah, it'll be fine, right, Mr. Edgeworth? Mr. Edgeworth is a hero who always finds the truth no matter what he's up against.
That's right, pal. Of course it's gonna be fine. Mr. Edgeworth has gotten out of more impossible situations than I can count.
Miles, I believe in you too. But more importantly, I'm sure your old man watching over you believes in you as well.
I don't.
Miles Edgeworth, calm down and think. You're just one step away from the perfect proof.
The body double was killed by this balloon. Proof lies in the traces left on the basket. Simon Keys, it's time for you to atone for your crimes.
I'll see it with my own eyes. The moment this past case is settled once and for all. Please, Prosecutor Edgeworth, deliver the final blow to this unforgivable person.
This is the final piece of evidence that proves your crimes.
What traces were left on the balloon that crushed the victim? Symbolism!
When John found the body, a bouquet of lion lilies was there as well.
Lion lilies? The flowers from Zangfa that represent the bond between parent and child?
Yes, exactly those.
That's your evidence? Surely they must be buried under a mountain of garbage by now. Moreover, the one who threw it away was John himself. That's not much of a bond now, is it? Gert, that language of flowers stuff has nothing to do with this.
Calm down, John. Certainly you may have thrown the flowers away. However, I believe those emotions remain as strong as ever. Those bonds will certainly protect you from that man in the form of my final piece of evidence.
What the heck are you talking about?
Those flowers were crushed. Ergo, they must have come into contact with the murder weapon. Perhaps we'll find the very same pollen still stuck to the basket of your balloon.
No way, no way, no way, no way! You guys examined the basket just a few moments ago. If there had been any yellow pollen stuck on there, wouldn't you have noticed it then?
Mr. Keys, evidence is not restricted to what you can see with the naked eye.
What? Emma! Yes!
Would you perform one more scientific investigation for us?
Leave it to me! The balloon's basket, right? A reaction! This is clearly pollen from a yellow flower. We'll find out soon enough whether or not it's from the same flower. What?
I'd say this proves that the body double's death was caused directly by your own hand.
No way. That can't be.
You crushed the body double to death on the roof of the tower. Then you retrieved the body and hid it in the warehouse.
Why did he have to go to the trouble of retrieving the body?
2 nights ago, he knew that a separate incident would occur at the tower.
Ah, Miss Crane's.
Precisely. Leaving the body there would have disrupted his plans.
I see. But even so, he couldn't leave the body in the circus warehouse either.
Exactly. So the next day, when he was bringing the body back to the tower once again, he saw the small fire John started which caused the Mozilla head to fall. Was that when your idea came to you? Your plan to pin the crime on John?
God.
You made it look like the murder weapon was the fallen head.
Such foul, cowardly behavior.
For that reason, you carried the double's body into the balloon, and lowered it into the film lot. At that time, the figure of the body double being lowered down by a rope was captured in John's video recording.
That looks very silly. And it also doesn't look like someone's being, hung in. Damn, it was all... You saw through it all! Damn it! Damn you!
You manipulated animals, you manipulated people, and you manipulated cases. almost as if you were a king. However, it's now all come to an end.
Simon, the animals have gotten angry, even Money and Astique. You never thought of them as your friends at all. How sad.
Oh dear. I think we all need to get the hell out of here and let the animals just maul the hell out of them.
Damn it! Don't you look at me with those eyes!
It's about time you went back to being a mere clown. A fitting end to your pitiful jester's act.
Stay away! Get away from me!
Stop it! Please, stop it!
Daddy, help me! I'm scared! I'm so scared! I don't know anything. I didn't do anything. They were the bad ones, weren't they? Horace, why? Why did you stop me? If he hadn't done that, I couldn't even trust the police. Nobody would help me. But that man, back then he saved me. The only one who helped me, so I used everyone else. What's wrong with that? Stop it! Don't come any closer! Stop!
Yes, birds, kill him. Kick his ass. Yes. Oh, shit. Good. The elephant. Great. Damn. I was kidding when I said all the animals need to maul him. All right, never mind. It seems the game is finally over. Yeah, hey, how you doing? You know there's cops everywhere, right? Shelly the killer! Mr. Edgeworth, I must thank you. You have exposed the true identity of the mastermind. Now, I am free to... What? Drawing a gun would be most inadvisable. Stay where you are and do not move. I don't have a gun. You do have a gun, do you not? You intended to draw and fire it without anyone noticing. He must have taken it from the body double when he killed them. This man has betrayed his bond of trust with me. He would have me kill the president while knowing full well he was the body double. Lying about a target is an extremely dangerous thing to do to an assassin. Wow. Yep, this is exactly like the first case with Shelly the killer. Holy crap. Do I know what the best part is? We didn't prove his instigation of Knightley and Jill's murders. We only proved Simon killed the body double. And since he fired a gun at him, Simon's murder is in self-defense. His sentence likely won't be long. Oh. Well, fuck. However, what is even more unforgivable is your deception and your attempt to manipulate me. The time has come for your retribution. Stop! Oh, okay. Everyone wants to kill everyone. Holy fucking shit. Simon's face. Yes, everyone's scared. You are... It's been far too long, Shelley. Please, step aside. This man is my prey. I must ask you spare his life. Please permit this young acolyte to receive his proper punishment in prison. God damn. And if I refuse, his is the first life I have saved. I will not allow it to be taken away so easily. You saved a life? The assassin, Sarandogan? Ironic, is it not? That I, the one who take countless lives, am making a plea for this young one's life. He saved my life, just as I've saved his. Before I knew it, I grew quite fond of this lad. You may laugh at me as much as you want. However, I must ask that you spare the life of the boy. From one assassin to another, please, make this allowance. I understand. If you are willing to go that far. Again, where are the fucking police? There are like 3 killers in this room. You have my thanks. I'm in your debt. No need for thanks. I simply felt there would be no merit in a fight to the death with you. That is all. And with that, I must take my leave. Shit. Damn it, wait!
Prosecutor Edgeworth, I must thank you as well. It was necessary for this young acolyte to be put in his place. And that you have done. Now then, it's time for me to return to my humble cage, surrounded by iron bars. Right, Anubis? Right, boy?
Hold it.
Oh, look who's here.
Hey, priest guy. You killed my dad, right?
Indeed, I am not one to forget those I have slain. I see. You must despise me, my boy, with horns. In that case...
John!
Do not panic, I simply lent this boy with horns my knife. Take that knife and run it through my throat. A simple stab should do it. I've long grown weary of my wooden carvings.
Don't do the thing.
Revenge?
John, don't do it! John, please, I beg of you!
Until just now, I had intended to seek revenge, no matter how many years it took.
Revenge? Revenge is good. Really good. All your pain and suffering slips away. Everything becomes numb, and you'll feel nothing.
Yeah, you may be right. I thought about that while I listened to what you had to say.
John?
But the only one who would be satisfied with revenge would be myself, right? If I became a murderer, my mom would go through even more pain and suffering. My friends from the movie, too. And all those people who care about me as well.
The boy with horns says some interesting things.
That's right. I finally get it now. I'll never forgive you, but I'm not the one who should punish you. After all, isn't that what my mom and that prosecutor guy are here for?
John. John! You just said some really profound stuff just now. Okay, perhaps you should study up a little more yourself.
Is that so? Well then, young one, it is time for us to depart.
Where to?
To prison, of course. The place will be our home.
Our home?
And with that, the case that involved and affected so many people came to a close. However, there was still one last thing I had to do.
Right. Let's see what the heck happens in this situation, eh? April 8th, 2:54 p.m. Grand Tower, PIC meeting room. John could have easily become just like Simon, which is why both characters are amazing. It's very nice he didn't take that path of murder and anger and angst. Again, it's like Batman and Jokers. Mr. Edgeworth, sorry to keep you waiting. Why'd you call Uncle Ray and the rest of us out here?
Because I'm a stubborn bastard, and unfortunately I still have friends.
Mr. Edgeworth.
The formal proceedings have just come to a close. What are you talking about?
This is the place where I once relinquished my prosecutor's badge.
This is your prosecutor's badge. Prosecutor Edgeworth, what is the meaning of this?
Consider this my resignation. I am no longer a prosecutor.
In order to save me when I was suffering from memory loss, you...
A certain man once said, the only ally a defendant has is their attorney. By trusting in their client, an attorney draws closer to the truth. The sight of that man still shines brilliantly in my eyes.
Jeez, this romance story needs to end.
Just as the image of my father fighting in court does.
Gregory.
However, this is nothing more than that man and my father's way of life. It is not mine.
Mr. Edgeworth?
I think I shall live as a prosecutor after all.
I see. So you've made your decision.
I'm sorry.
No, I understand. That's your answer, isn't it?
It is.
Okay, then that's the end of this conversation. Don't regret it. Even if you beg me later, I won't let you work for me ever again.
I understand.
But you know, Miles, mind if I ask you why you chose to live as a prosecutor? It's because he has a yin to his yang, that's why.
Mr. Shields, you asked me this before.
To fight crime as a prosecutor or to save people as a defense attorney. I want you to think carefully about how you want to live your life from now on.
I've thought long and hard about that question ever since. How should I live my life? And after this case concluded, I finally found my answer. I want to save people as a prosecutor.
As a prosecutor?
Simon Keyes, he too was a victim. He lost a parent in a past murder, and with it the ability to believe in anything else. I too know that feeling. The feeling of losing what's important to you and being unable to believe in anything. I doubt everything during my lonely battle in those days. Wait. I doubted everything during my lonely battles in those days. All that I can hope to do is get every defendant declared guilty. The one who saved me was...
Oh, you're not even gonna show him, you assholes! This close to seeing what Phoenix would look like in an investigation style. Nope.
Mr. Keyes must have been all alone, unable to find salvation from the law. He had no choice but to turn his hand to revenge. And I suppose you never thought to seek help from the police?
No way! As long as Blaze was around, any evidence would be destroyed by him! Actually, didn't something like that almost happen today during Patricia's trial?
I want to save those like Simon Keyes.
So, how would you save them?
I'm sure this tragedy could have been avoided if only he could have relied on the courts.
But instead, he was cornered by Blaze DeBest, who used the power of law for evil. The form of the law can change depending on who wields it. It can be at once a shield to protect and a blade to harm. That, too, is a contradiction of the law. A contradiction, huh? That's true. Sure is a contradiction in the law. The way the law is right now, it isn't always completely right.
The only way to right those contradictions is by joining in the court system. The one who could have saved Simon Keyes was not an attorney, but rather a watchman of the law, a prosecutor. I shall face the contradictions in the law as a prosecutor.
I see. That's just like you. But you know, it'll be tough. It won't be just a walk in the park. You'll be going up against the law itself. You do realize that, right?
I do. However, someone must.
Yep. Uncle Ray believes in you too. The law evolves and grows, just like all of us do. I'm sure you can pull it off. After all, you're Gregory's son. This is your favorite Ace Attorney game, and one of your favorite games, period. And it's a damn shame it didn't come out in the States. You know. Your old man would never give up, no matter what. His eyes always saw only what laid straight ahead. Miles, whether you choose to live as a prosecutor, your eyes look just like your father's. It looks like you've grown up a bit. I really wish your old man could see you now.
Thank you very much, Mr. Shields.
So then, Prosecutor Edgeworth, allow me to formally return this to you.
Please do.
I, Justine Courtney, as a member of the PIC, do hereby return to Miles Edgeworth
the rights and privileges of a prosecutor in the name of the goddess of law.
Yay, Badgie is back! Now I can show it off. And with that, Prosecutor Edgeworth is revived.
That's great, sir!
So then, Prosecutor Edgeworth, it's time for Uncle Ray to make an exit. I have to report to your old man all about the traitor in the Edgeworth family.
Thank you for everything, truly.
The next time we meet just might be in the courtroom. I hope you'll be ready. Uncle Ray might not look it, but he's an ace attorney after all.
I'll look forward to seeing the attorney my father trained in action.
Take care. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Prosecutor Edgeworth, welcome back.
Judge Courtney, I must give my thanks to you as well.
To me.
You sought to fix the corruption within the PIC from the inside. That must truly have been a lonely battle.
No, it was not. For I was never alone.
Because the goddess of law is always by your side, right?
You made me realize that one could fight in such a way. The prosecutor's office, no, the entire legal world is caught up in this contradiction. If that cannot be set right, there is a truth that we will never see the light of day.
Right.
It was only through your help that I was able to find this new path. One that fights against the contradictions in the law.
I too find that promising, as in the service of the goddess of law. You shall certainly succeed in helping the law grow.
Let us meet again in the courtroom.
Yes. I must apologize for my shameful acts during the trial 2 days ago. Next time I shall fulfill my duties as a judge perfectly.
Your Honor, I do not intend to speak regarding your ideals.
Prosecutor Edgeworth?
However, the greatest judge I know is one overflowing with humanity. Even during a trial, that judge experiences happiness, anger, sadness, and joy. But nevertheless, always hands down the correct verdict in the end.
Oh, Archie.
It's difficult to say, but sometimes I feel that perfection is not always correct.
So a judge, too, has the right to behave in such a manner. Thank you very much. Prosecutor Edgeworth, when I pursued and fought against Blaise de Best, the goddess of law was not the only one by my side.
Ah, it's John!
When I have this cutout with me, I feel a strange sense of courage when I'm up from within. No matter how painful things became, no matter how strong the foe, when I remember that I'm not alone, I'm able to keep moving forward. Wrongs must be put right, for John's sake as well.
John, too, lost his father in a past crime.
That is more important to me than even the words of the goddess of law. Though I'm sure the goddess would be angered by those words.
Your bond with your son is the secret to your strength, I imagine.
I don't have to be perfect. I just want to grow little by little. Both as a judge and as a mother. That is how I feel.
It seems there is much each of us has yet to learn.
Agreed. We are still but children before the world. Let us grow in our respective paths until we meet again. I shall look forward to that reunion. May the blessings of the goddess of law be upon you and follow your new path.
Good day, madam. I doubt I will ever see your character again, but you know, whatever. Shit, I missed that.
So that I may tread a new path as a prosecutor. I shall surely reach the truth waiting at the end of the path, no matter how difficult the path may be. If any seek to stop me on my path, they shall receive no mercy. No matter who they may be, I will shout out, objection. That was a little fast, holy shit.
And therein lies the credits. Oh. Little bits of everybody here. Chief! What sort of scoop are you aiming for next? Hey! Ain't you a journalist? There ain't nothing more important than the information. You may be my apprentice, but you're still my business rival. I ain't gonna tell you everything. That's my mentor, all right. I reckon you're even more prepared than me. I understand. I'll get my information using my own 2 feet. Yeah, that's the spirit. By the way, would you mind me asking what sort of scoop you're aiming for next? Oh, fuck you. Chief, ain't no need to be stingy. I'm your mentor, after all. That's just heinous. Well, dang. Say, who else is coming up on this little Rolodex? Gumshoe? Oh, no, hello. Sop that up, maybe.
It seems that the wound on my left arm has yet to heal. The bodyguard who inflicted this wound upon me. He has a name I will never forget. Now then, shall I return to being a simple ice cream salesman? Perhaps this time I should try being a crepe salesman instead. For now, I shall live a calm life, until my services are required once more.
He's admitted to being a murderer on several different occasions. Dude, why has nobody arrested him? Oh dear, oh boy. I might be knocked out, but what's that prosecutor named Edgeworth? Okay. But I'll keep trying to escape. I won't let him dampen my fighting spirit. Ain't that right, Rocky? The gong that'll sound off my next escape will ring out soon enough. The gong. Until then, let's keep working out. I'm gonna be a contender. Again, there's a whole lot of characters in the Ace Attorney Investigation series that I just don't expect I'm ever going to see again.
Are you inquiring into my studies to become a pet groomer? I'm working as hard as ever. I spend every day covered in mud. Perhaps this suits my true nature far better than the life of a newspaper salesman. Once I leave the prison, I hope to earn an honest wage as a pet trimmer. My sentence has been extended? Because I was Warden Roland's accomplice? Why do you think I've been giving the rat's ass about this? To hell with this pet trimmer's license. Damn it!
Poor Mr. Sowett. Again, I feel like he's gonna have life at this stage. If he doesn't have it already. Circus folk.
Regina was really shocked by the truth about Simon, too. I mean, I had trusted him as my subordinate. But there's no use fretting over it. The show must go on. I have to do my best so that I won't lose to the magic of ventriloquist divisions. I'll put on the greatest performance ever. One that'll blow away the entire...
There's a part of me that did kind of wish we saw more of the people from the circus, but oh well. Not everyone can make a cameo.
It seems I have grown soft in my old age. Right, Anubis? Right, boy? To think the life I saved, a whim 18 years ago, would drive me to such lengths. Thanks to that, I am confident to my humble cell. Confined to my humble cell once more, shit! Well, this time, perhaps it won't be such a bore, right, boy?
I'm trying to read them carefully, but I keep on, missing lines. But if I read them, slowly, suddenly I miss them. They put them together? Oh.
Today's dessert is chocolate cake.
That gently melting moment of allure.
I will wait for you forever, Kate. I shall come here every day, as you and Raymond did for me.
Monsieur Shields, Professor Edgeworth, I am truly grateful to them. I cannot believe I am able to eat your desserts once more, Monsieur Master.
I have been allowed to distribute my treats in both the detention center and the prison. For the past 18 years, I brought joy to one and all with my delicious sweets.
A little bit of a raw deal, considering, again, prison. God, there were so many new characters in this game.
Yesy, thanks for everything, boys. Of course, I owe Greggy my thanks too. After all, I get to stuff myself with Jeffy's delicious desserts once again. Oi, next time maybe I'll use one of Jeffy's sweets to create a new drug. The tuck-in diet. You'll tuck in your stomach while you tuck into desserts. It'll be delicious and slimming, and also good for your health.
Yeah, I don't think that's kind of a. I bet I've said this all the time, but stuff that tastes good, it's never going to be good for you. I don't think. Man, I'm glad I got to meet and sketch so many beauties. But Mandy caught a glimpse of my beauty sketch. She has a misunderstanding and clobbed me in the face with my sketchbook. So in exchange for my sketch of beauties, I had one beauty walk out on me. Maybe it's time for me to start getting more serious about my life. Do I take the path of an artist or do I follow the path of my heart? Oh, and by heart, I mean the heart of my new lady. Good. Good to know there is not going to be any introspection from Mr. Butts. Howdy, friends. Mr. Bad, thanks for all your help today.
I'll testify about the IS-7 incident as much as you need me to. Prosecutor Edgeworth seems pretty active, too.
He chose not to take the same path as Gregory, but rather to live as a prosecutor. Well, I am kind of sad I won't get to work with him, but I'll continue to watch over him.
Well, looks like you've grown up quite a bit yourself.
I'm so happy Mr. Bad actually praised me. If you ever need a hand from Attorney Raymond Shields, give me a call anytime, any place. Well, good to see he's in spirits from being jailed. Hey, Granny.
My crimes were punished far more intensely than I expected. Once it was proven that I had been threatened. Ow!
Oh.
Yeah. No crime is more heavy on or light than any other. I'm sorry. Of course, I regret what I did. However, I'm so glad I can still be together with you, Granny.
Lenience. Oh, okay. Sorry.
Huh? You want to hurry back to work? That's right. The next corpse is waiting for us after all.
The next corpse. God. Ain't no healing in this circumstance, no. Yes. Hello, Miss Scientific Investigations. I'm glad that my scientific investigation came in handy this time around as well. Good thing I rushed back here all the way from Europe. Now, I have to leave again. That kind of takes the fire out of a girl, as you can imagine. But this is all so that I can become an actual forensic scientist. So then, I guess it's time to go. Oh, if anything comes up, be sure to call me right away. The second I get the word, I'll dash right over. Of course you will. Of course, we know how that turns out. Yeah, I was just... And sadly know what happened to her in Apollo Justice. Whoop. Hello, Francesca. The greater the father, the greater the expectations, and for their children. Prosecutor the best, was it? His way of life shall be tested henceforth. Just as mine was. Miles Edgeworth chose to live a different life from his father as a prosecutor. I suppose that too is an answer. That's a good question. What are we going to get for the ending bit involved with the best? I am both excited and terrified of the idea. Rah! I could have never imagined the truth my old man was hiding. Unlike me, who only thought about the Lang clan, my old man was trying to protect an entire nation. But I swear to you all that I will carry on his will, even if the president was a fake, and the real one was murdered.
I swear that I, together with my men, shall revive Zhengfa. Someday I will surely show you all a Zhengfa brimming with life.
Live the dream, buddy. Good God. I feel like we're not... Oh, hey, the voice actors. Hello. Voice editing and insertion. I love how just there's more credits for everybody who did the mod. I've asked everyone to stop calling me the best. Oh, thank God. I don't like it. It makes me feel like I'm just borrowing Pops' power. I shall study even harder than before and triumph over Pops. I'll become strong enough so that I won't lose, even to Mr. Edgeworth. Now then, let's start by thinking up my new nickname. That's not a good place to start. Graphics editor, yeah. A whole bunch of extra peeps.
A lot has happened, but thankfully the film was a roaring success. The gossip articles about the murder made our movie the talk of the country. A monstrous man appears from the mighty Basilla. This is the true face of the monster who murdered the president of Zhengfa.
Isn't that you at the photo, Mr. Powers?
Doug, how could something like this happen?
No, it's fine. Isn't it? It's thanks to those articles that our film's being a big hit.
Much obliged.
That's a shame. Again, maybe you should just start wearing a mask. Hello, mother and son. Let's see how this ends up. John, I greatly enjoyed watching your movie. That's no big deal. It's not like I had a major role or anything. You were the star, you bastard! What are you saying? You played the key character who connects Mozilla and Gordy. There's no one else besides you who could have played that part. Yeah, I guess. Well, it would be nice if there's a sequel. I really enjoy working as an actor. Mom, before we head home, can we go buy something? I'd like to decorate our home with a lion lily. Then one will not suffice. You will need two more. One for me and one for Amy. Technically, Mozilla was a star. Meh. Thank you for all the support. Yes. We're back in the office. I wonder what the heck's happening here. April 8th, 4:17 p.m. High Prosecutor's Office, room 1202.
Wow, we were really busy with all those cases, weren't we, sir? Indeed, we were. Why did all these incidents happen in such quick succession?
I feel like things are always busy whenever I'm around.
Wait, Kay, wouldn't that mean you're a magnet for crimes?
Maybe. Let's kick her out. Hey, Gummy, that was rude.
I do get the impression that he's not entirely wrong. So then, Kay, do you intend to resume your training to become a great thief?
I don't know.
Is something on your mind, Paul?
How should I put it? Until now, I've always been chasing after my father, so that I could become a great thief, just like him.
Like the previous Yatagarasu, I suppose.
But watching you, Mr. Edgeworth, made me think. Maybe instead of chasing after my father, I should find my own path. I mean, you didn't become a defense attorney either.
Chasing after a parent's shadow isn't the only path in life for a child, after all.
I'm gonna aim to be a hero in my own way.
That sounds good, and also a lot less illegal.
But of course that doesn't mean I'm gonna throw away the name of the great thief Yatagarasu.
No matter what sort of hero you become, Kay will always still be Kay.
Thanks, Gummy. And Gummy will always be Gummy.
Of course, pal. I plan to keep pushing forward on my path of a detective, after all. Mr. Edgeworth, I look forward to continuing to work with you, sir. Yes, I'll be counting on you, Detective Gumshoe. Detective, you saved me many times during these past cases. You have my gratitude,
but not a raise.
I suggest you look forward to your next
salary assessment. Oh, never mind.
Huh?
What?
Does that mean what I think it means? What's wrong? I'm saying that your salary ought to be raised.
Really, sir? I can't believe it!
Isn't that great, Gummy?
It's like a dream come true! I can finally say goodbye to my instant noodle lifestyle!
We don't know that yet. However, that doesn't mean you can start slacking off. The real work begins from here on out. You should prepare yourself.
Yes, sir! Roger that! I'll devote my body and soul to following after you, Mr. Edgeworth.
The path Mr. Shields and Judge Courtney taught me is to take a stand against the contradictions in the law and to reach the truth at the end of that road. What am I able to do? That is a question I must continue to dwell upon. Certainly this path will not be easy. However,
Prosecutor Edgeworth, when I pursued and fought against Blaze the Best, this literally happened just a couple of minutes ago. The goddess of law was not the only one by my side.
Ah, it's John!
When I have this cut out with me, I feel a strange sense of courage well up from within. When I remember that I am not alone, I'm able to keep moving forward.
your bond with your son is the secret to your strength, I imagine. Bonds, huh?
I completely forgot!
That was sudden. What's wrong?
I was searching for members of the new Yatagarasu team.
Now that you mention it, I do remember you saying something to that effect.
But in the end, I wasn't even able to find a single person. Can you imagine it? A team combining their powers in order to steal the truth? I wanted to create an invincible team like that, but...
What are you saying, pal? Don't you already have a team? Together the three of us can solve any case that comes our way.
Yeah, you're right. A prosecutor, a detective, and a great thief. We're the invincible trio of heroes that steal, captures, and pursues the truth.
Hearing all that kind of makes me feel sorry for the truth.
As long as the three of us are together, there's nothing to fear. Isn't that right, Mr. Edgeworth?
Yes, you are correct. Even until his last moments, my father ran along his own path. I too shall advance along mine, accompanied by my somewhat boisterous comrades. As long as they are by my side, I can walk forward without hesitation. On this new path as a prosecutor. Prosecutors and attorneys, the path I walk is not my father's. However, I am certain that the two paths are not separate. Though we may walk in opposite directions, our destination is the same. Why, you may ask? Because both paths lead to the one and only truth.
So much symbolism, it hurts. The end. Holy mother of God. Took 16 different, individual times playing this game. But we got through the whole daggum thing. Yeah, all in all, this is the longest Ace Attorney game that I have ever played. And also, again, I've said this time and time again as I have played it, but it hasn't come out in the States. Are you kidding me? This is a very good game. I understand that I'm sure that technicalities, and they probably didn't want to risk releasing another one to the States for whatever reason, whether it be about piracy, whether it be about the lack of sales. I didn't really look it up. But you know what? It's kind of annoying me that just this game hasn't really come out in any official way, shape, or form. And I'm going to say right here, right now, I'm going to make this promise right here. If this game is released in an official format in some capacity, shape, or form, I'm not going to restream it. Nah, I'm just not going to do that. But I'm going to buy it. I promise you I will buy it. I've already played through the entire game, and it's a story-based game, but I will buy it. So literally, there is money sitting on the table here. Capcom could get it. I would buy it. You know, it's I want to promote this kind of thing. I would like to see this kind of, if anything, And another Ace Attorney Investigations game would be amazing if it came out. So, yeah, that's... I'm throwing down the gauntlet. Like, the fans, they kind of picked up the slack, but I want to see this game come out officially. So, there we go. Maybe, you know what? I thought about this. What if the Ace Attorney Investigations game got some kind of remastering, and the second game came out with it? Like, that'd be perfect. Just take both the games, put them on one cartridge, done. Or, you know, if you're not working with cartridges anymore, make it one save file. Dude, like, it's a no-brainer. If you want to be really, progressive about it, maybe you could make the third chapter. I don't know. I don't have a problem with seeing any of these characters come back. It would be hard to use different translation. Yeah, it would. I would be okay with it. But like I said, I think we mentioned it before. I'd be interested in seeing them getting a hold of the fan translation and saying, hey, can we at least use like the text translations? Like that would be working. That would work. But anyways, wow. It feels like I've been playing this game for a lifetime. A ridiculous, ridiculous lifetime. And now the question becomes, what do I play next? And to that degree, I'm not entirely sure just yet. Give me a quick second. I didn't know if I was going to beat the game tonight, but just in case I was, I got the 3DS capture set up. There we go. Oh, I do? Oh, yes, I do. Oh, but it's also glitching. Hold on a second. It's fine. Give me a second. It does this weird thing every now and then where it forgets the product key. And now I have to throw it in here. There we go. I don't know if you can hear the you can probably hear the sounds of the 3DS running. So, here we are. We're back at the 3DS. Back home once again. Actual Nintendo hardware, real hardware. I'll be glad to put down the I will be very happy to put down the emulator. Like, it worked, but So Dual Destinies is coming sometime. Well, that's what I'm wondering about. Because I have this little folder over here. It's Ace Attorney, and it's got all the Ace Attorney games that I currently own, So we've been through the entire Ace Attorney trilogy, except the ending to the first Ace Attorney. Which, I've already played the entire thing, I know. And then we have Apollo Justice Ace Attorney. And the next one coming up would be Ace Attorney Dual Destinies, if we're going to be following the storyline. But I kind of like this little retrospective we've been doing as of late. And if I wanted to edge people out just a little bit further, I do have this. What do you think? Honestly, I've seen the previews for this. Look at them spin. You can tell how much I project my voice based off how much they spin. But I've had this for a while, and I've seen the previews. It looks really interesting. It looks really fun. Have I ever played a Layton game? Technically, no. I have played the Layton Brothers Mystery Room game, but I know that's entirely different. But I know that Professor Layton is very largely based around puzzles. I don't necessarily know if I need to know a lot of background for that. But honestly, I'd be kind of interested in playing... if anything, this would be a great introduction for the main Professor Layton line. And on top of that, this is a storyline that is taking place directly before anything involved with the current lineage of Dual Destiny and all that. I seem to remember, because, Maya's here, clearly. Just some characters show up. All right. Well, again, I'm very curious, and I think at this stage, yeah, right, Professor Layton, X-Phoenix Wright is non-canon, and I know that. But at this stage, now that I have a lot of background for the, essentially, sort of the original trilogy arc, and now that I have all of Investigations lined down, before I know it's not even going to be, it doesn't connect in any way, shape, or form to the following games. The next one afterwards being Spirit of Justice. It's theorized to take place after 3-2 and before 3-3. Okay. Yeah, honestly, like I heard about this, and I've heard that there's a bunch of there's a whole bunch of trial puzzles that were made directly by, I forget his name, what the heck's his name? I forget. Damn it, I feel horrible for getting this one. There's a Zvari joke. Oh my god. Shu Takumi? Yeah, I heard that he was a part of trying to work on those puzzles. And, hey, that's legit enough for me. Honestly, I've been very curious about it for years, and I feel like I would really like to jump into this. So, what I'm thinking is that next Saturday, I'm going to jump into Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright. And then following playing that, we're going to get right back on the path proper, and we're going to play the next Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney game, which is something that I have been waiting for a long time. Like, it's been fun taking this little side trip of playing the investigation series and playing Apollo Justice Ace Attorney with Phoenix as a character. But God, I miss him. I do. Kind of spoils he returns to law. I already know. I'm well aware he's coming. There's 2 more games that came out where he's clearly a person that's, he's in the court. That, and I saw a trailer for Ace Attorney Dual Destinies. So, I've got that spoiled for me. I know he makes a grand return, and I'm looking forward to seeing that. But I want to kind of, not just edging, you, but I kind of want to edge myself, honestly. I'm just like, let's sip this like a fine wine. Let's enjoy the discography, as it were. So again, the next stream I do for Phoenix Wright type of stuff, I'm going to be coming back with actual real hardware. I'm playing Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright. Non-canon, but should be fun. So that'll do it for the stream tonight. So thanks for coming out. I appreciate it very much, and especially, I want to give a big shout out again to the group of people over at GBA Temp who put in so much work and effort just for the sake of bringing this game to, to just people in the States. It's a game I really want to be in the United States. I want it to have an official translation, and I will be waiting. But anyways, I'm probably going to be editing out... Actually, I did pretty freaking well. I had a couple of BRBs, so... Actually, I did a couple of BRBs, so I'm going to just cut those out, and I'm going to upload this to the YouTube channel, because actually, it was pretty straightforward. Like, I had very few times where I failed during the ending of that. And again, thank God it wasn't an Alba situation where it's just like, just fucking die! Jesus. Again, you can see how much I project my voice when I'm doing the streams based off of how much that thing spins. Ah! But anyways, my stream schedule. Keys is your favorite villain. He's manic as all hell, and I definitely didn't expect him. That's for sure. He was so unassuming. I just thought he was some kind of a dork. Damn it, he had me fooled too. Shit. Anyways. I stream on Saturdays, Sundays, and Wednesdays. I'm starting at around 7 o'clock. Like I said, I definitely think I'm going to be starting out with Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright on Saturday. Tomorrow, I'm not going to lie, I'm kind of itchy to play PC Building Simulator again. Mostly because they announced that Asus hardware was added to it, and I want to see what that is. Problem is, if I do, I'm going to have to look up how to overclock a computer, because I don't freaking know. And that's integral to this portion of the game. So I'll have to do that. I also need to get back to doing Celeste. For all I know, I might do Celeste tomorrow, and then I might push off doing PC Simulator on Wednesday. Just because I might want to do some research on how to overclock a CPU before I start streaming. Because I've never done it. I've been too chicken. Okay, enough with that. I've actually not had dinner tonight, and also I need to go to the bathroom again, because I've been drinking a ton of liquid. So again, thanks for coming out. See you next time.